Hey, well, I guess we're supposed to congratulate Bon Jovial on the Australians getting the Olympics at some point in the near future. He wanted us to all congratulate him. So, of course, I'll put Johnny on first, the armquilizer, who is here with us now. Dennis, who is still power washing his driveway, which I really wish we would change that. And then, of course, Bon Jovial, who is actually responsible for pulling together today's show. Okay, so what we're doing tonight is we're doing the lost roles of Howard Stern. And basically, it's him with all his bullshit about everything that he has ever chosen to not take. Not the fact that he actually tried out for it or that he went in and had a talk with them, just that it was his role to not have. Right? That's the way he always comes across, that it was
too cool.
his to deny.
You
right?
got buckwalded.
They approached me, but it just wasn't right for me. That was always
He
my
always
favorite.
got offered first.
I just want to say that I did a lot of the video for this, but John got some absolutely amazing clips, and I don't know how you got them. This is why John.
Thank you very much.
Bon, since you put this all together, how is it that you would like me to work this? Like, how do you want to set this up?
Well, firstly, I'd like to say, I hope you all enjoyed that introduction, because it's been a major celebration here in Australia. We secured the Olympics for 2032. A lot of backdoor deals. We probably spent $1 billion paying off IOC members. But the announcement a couple of weeks ago came through, and I was ecstatic. I was frolicking through Australia with happiness. Well, I did come and run onto radiogunk.com and ID that, and I created a post and said, everybody, aren't you excited? And you know what happened? My joy, my jubilation turned to disgust when all of Monique, you're partly responsible for this, all of your forum members came in, or a handful of them, and shat all over my happiness. And I made this, I in the thread, I was furious, and I said, there will be revenge. And we are about to watch the revenge that I'm going to take on you, because these zombie knuckle-dragging negative members on your forum came crawling in and were absolutely devastating to my joy. And I have created an instructional video to show you that I will name and shame you. I will name and shame you. So just relax. And I'm going to help. I'm going to help you. Now I'm very angry. So here we go. I've titled this. Here we go. Here we go. The terrible, awful, mean reactions to my Olympics announcement. Now, this is what I was looking for in a comment that would have made me happy from you people. Congratulations, Bon Jovi. The Olympic Games are a triumph of the human spirit, testament to our human race. Now, what I got was this.
Oh, wow, the Olympics, how exciting. Olympics, they're still doing those. No one watches the Olympics anymore. Congrats, ask Tokyo how the Olympics are working out for them. I can't wait to not watch. I'm shocked cities still want the Olympics. It's a huge waste of money and a burden on the host cities. Olympics are for boomers, man. Well, you seem happy. That's all that matters. Even less people will be watching in 2032. This guy gets it. Condolences. Your city will now be saddled with massive debt and buildings that have limited dual use. Animated GIF of Jackie Martling laughing at me. 2032, half this board will be dead. Only sport I'm excited about is women's high jump. They all have nice butts.
Shame on all of you. Shame. Thank you for listening.
Oh my god, I'm fucking crying.
How about isn't that vintage crazy Ramil? I can't wait to not watch. Not My Bro, too. We love Not My Bro. One of the
Yeah,
original
he's normally
trolls.
good, but talk about a shit list. He's on it. You
Dennis
know what I'm
got in
saying?
there, too.
And Dennis, you son of
Princess.
a... Dennis always does that.
I'm tearing.
Eating
I
her
can't even
own.
get myself together. Oh God,
So,
we're such dicks.
I plan on living past 2032. I don't know about you.
We're
know I'm
such
gonna.
dicks. Everybody at this point will be dead. Oh, I can't breathe.
The dingo ate the marathoner.
that's true. I think it was just discrimination. That's what I think it was. And I was talking to my lawyer about it. That's right. Yeah. I have a lawyer now. My lawyer's name is Stuttering John.
Stuttering
but
John?
He said, and I quote, "You're gonna get all the monies. So we're gonna work out some kind of trial or something." Would you like me to read the first thing? Was hosting a late night talk show on Fox in 1987.
So let me read. I shall do
You
that.
wanna read?
Because
Okay,
I'm
go
a
for
good reader. Yes, I am.
You got her snorkel glasses on and everything.
Okay.
Wow.
The Lost Roles of Howard Stern. This is from Vulture in 2012 by Bradford Evans. You saw him this past weekend in a Super Bowl commercial mocking the heroes of civil rights movements by turning a fire hose on a guy singing a bad version of a bad Maroon 5 song. Howard Stern is a beloved broadcaster, the self-proclaimed king of all media, and yes, America's Got Talent's newest judge. We've all seen the directions of his unpredictability and highly successful career has gone. So let's turn our attention to the path Stern almost took in the entertainment industry by examining all of the TV and movie projects he's turned down, wanted to be a part of but couldn't, and the stuff that never saw the light of day. Throughout his career, Stern has been involved in or been close to being involved in a whole slew of intriguing projects, including superhero movies starring both Batman and Fartman, his unaired late-night talk show, and the animated series that would have seen Michael Cera voicing a young Howard Stern. Okay, so we will go to number one, which is hosting a late night talk show on Fox, and that was circa 1987. After Joan Rivers' disastrous late night show on Fox imploded, the network was eyeing Howard Stern to replace her. Stern filmed 5 one-hour pilots, each using the title The Howard Stern Show. But the network passed on the show and wouldn't make another attempt at entering the late-night battlegrounds until giving Chevy Chase a talk show in 1993. Fox has always had a weak record with late night, and although it would have been hard for Howard Stern to have done worse than Chevy Chase or Joan Rivers, challenging Johnny Carson never really paid off for anybody. So that's what we have as our number one.
You got to remember what year that was, Monique. You guys got to remember the history of TV.
1987.
It started
1987
simulcasting.
Well, 1987 is the start of the Fox network, the original programming. That was the first year. 21 Jump Street was the first show. Married with Children, Gary Shandling, America's Most Wanted. So they're trying to legitimize themselves as the fourth network. And they would try alternative things, and they were trying to start the season in the summer when the other ones weren't, and they would try to be a little edgier, and they would have a looser thing with the FCC. So he was almost like not a perfect choice, but that's the type of direction they were going.
But
would it have
87.
made any difference whatsoever? Because Howard, not unlike Jackie Martling, only knows what he knows. Like he only knows how to do that type of show that would have been like the Channel 9 show, except probably not as edgy, right?
But the beauty of Buck Wald is he can sell crap. They're con men, they're hucksters. They could sell bullshit that they have no business doing, and that's what he did to Fox, who was naive and would have taken anything at that point. A name. Just give me a name.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, in '87, was he really a name? No, he wasn't. He was in 2 markets.
No, I don't know.
He was in 2 markets. In '87, he was in Philadelphia, New York. So that to put him on air was they probably thought twice after they saw how bad he was actually trying to interview people. I just can't fathom. I just can't fathom that he actually was the first choice. I think there was maybe a fanboy or two in there, and they thought he could actually do something, but that would have been a colossal disaster had that gone actually forward. So
and I think it would not have lasted. I mean, did any of those shows that we just talked about, the Joan Rivers thing or the Chevy Chase last?
Joan
Arsenio Hall was on Fox too.
Oh yeah. He made what, 10 years?
Before the Channel 9.
I don't think that we were at that time. All right, Bon, like, do we have something to accompany this? Because I'm still I'm still lamenting your
No, but we do when we get to Ford Fairlane. So we'll go after that. We'll go to there's a
let me continue because it is in actual time order. Okay, RoboCop 1987. Stern was offered an unspecified part in RoboCop, but he turned it down, saying on air that the movie looked stupid. After seeing the film, though, he publicly discussed how much he liked it. Now, what are the odds that, again, in 1987, what they wanted him for was to be a shock jock on air?
100%.
100%. Right?
There's no other role for him.
No. Agreed. Okay, so then after that, and Bon, if you can actually delete your other... yes. I guess I don't actually have to. Okay, let's go to The Adventures of Ford Fairlane. This was in 1990. The role was supposed to be somebody called Johnny Crunch. The person who actually got the role was Gilbert Gottfried. Andrew Dice Clay was a frequent guest. Andrew Dice Clay, by the way, who has Bell's palsy, which has to be funny just on its own.
Doesn't Adrian Kramer have that also? She's on is she on ESPN? Because she has eyes like bulging out of her head. I think she has like
Andrea Kramer.
Also. Yeah.
I don't know, but Bell's palsy is really brought on by stress. And I remember after 9/11, I knew personally about 7 people who got Bell's palsy, and it's directly related to anxiety and stress.
What stress does he have? I mean, besides not
having
a career
knows. I don't know anything about what's his face?
Dice.
Who cares about Dice?
Silverstein.
Exactly.
I know Silverstein.
Okay, Andrew Dice Clay. Andrew Dice Clay was a frequent guest on the Howard Stern radio show, and he got Stern's audition for the first and last movie in which the Dice Man ever starred. The director of The Adventures of Ford Fairlane, Rennie Harlan, opted for Gilbert Gottfried instead to play Johnny Crunch, a radio host in the film, drawing Howard Stern's ire. So basically, this tells me that he went in for a it's not called a go-see. Chaka Khan, what's it called? He went in for a test.
Not a read.
Or a read.
Yeah.
And they decided not to go with him.
Because
he couldn't even audition. He's too good to audition at that
radio guy.
Yeah.
But I feel like he actually did probably go in and audition for this. Yeah.
I think he thinks he's above auditioning. I think he thinks he's a name, and Buckwald will say, I just can't see him thinking he's like everybody.
I feel like according to this that he did actually go in for it and then didn't get it. And remember, this is 1990. He's still not nationwide. So, he's in his work in progress, get to know me kind of phase, I think. All right,
we have a clip for that.
We do. We're gonna.
Yep.
Yes, we do. We're going to play it right now. Hold on a second. Please hold, my loves.
For Dice's movie. Who's the guy you auditioned for?
No. That's Rennie Harlan.
Yeah.
Rennie Harlan.
I don't know.
Rennie Harlan's,
He's the Ridley Scott.
I can direct better than Rennie Harlan.
Rennie Harlan.
Oh, really? You can direct better than Rennie Harlan.
No.
Because you've done so much. You self-proclaimed king of all media, where you've done one fucking movie and maybe 2 TV shows, but you can direct better. Go on.
Rennie did Die Hard 2, and it wasn't that good, but it wasn't that bad.
It wasn't a bad movie.
Compared to a really bad movie, action movie. So fuck that.
Actually, Ford Fairlane. I'm going to say this: Ford Fairlane was not a bad movie if you take it for what it is. I mean, really.
Which is what? What is it?
It's a stupid movie with Dice Clay in it. I mean,
it's your classic late 80s, early 90s.
Yes, it was playing on the popularity of his stand-up. That was his peak, selling out the Garden, and then they needed to throw a movie at him, and it's just play yourself, and who cares?
You're right, Michael Jennings. Rennie Harlan was like the Michael Bay of his time.
Oh, yeah,
that's probably true. That's probably true. All right, let's continue.
He had a couple of bombs. The guy's Swedish or something. He's making American comedies and bombing.
Oh, God forbid.
Well, of course. And he switched to action films, and those didn't do well. Who knows what he is, but I just know the guy was an obnoxious asshole. I go in the room to audition,
Oh, he did
and
audition.
The only reason I was auditioning is because I thought it'd be funny to tell you about it on the air. I'm gonna fucking audition for this guy.
Oh, that's the only reason he did it.
For this guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Just for shits and giggles, so that we could talk about it on air. Because since I didn't get the part anyway, I'll just make it as if it was him.
Goof.
It's all right.
You remember,
like AGT.
You remember back then he was
fucking goof.
You remember back then he was trying to put on his tough guy voice. He was in Howie Brasco mode with the bros. I ain't auditioning for this guy. Fuck that guy.
I go in and he's on the phone with his like ignoring me while I'm auditioning.
Like the whole time you're working, he's talking on the phone.
Yeah, he's on the phone with his head turned. And I went, you fucking asshole.
You didn't launch yourself across the room at him?
Yeah, and each film that he did worse and worse and worse. I think
didn't do well.
I think he's directing McDonald's commercials now. My agent said, A, don't audition for it, and B, you're not in it anyway. It's a small fuck.
Why would his agent say don't audition for this? Like, wasn't the whole point to?
Because they didn't have enough money. They didn't have enough money for him.
For Howard.
What we're seeing here.
Though, he's not in that many markets at this point. I mean, honest to God, that's a stretch. I mean, seriously.
Well, he wouldn't want to be in this. What we're seeing now is the role that Howard would have played Gilbert. It's a terrible role, and Gilbert cannot act for shit apart from the start where he's screaming. And I can't use the audio in this for copyright, but you can see this acting. Gilbert was terrible, and just looking at that, imagine Howard all looking dirty like that. It would be awful. No. It would have been so bad. No, he couldn't have done it. And what
Again,
you're going to
too much
see
vanity.
is
He'd never dirty himself up. Vanity got in the way.
Exactly. Something terrible happens to Gilbert in a sec, and Howard can't see his character being someone who loses.
No.
And this is a loser role. He's
A Zord says, what director stays on the phone during an audition? What bullshit? Wig is looking for excuses for his failure. I agree with that completely.
I just want to see what it's like. I'll go in the room and audition. And, it'll be something to talk about. He goes, well, okay.
Now
as long as you're not bothered by it. I said, no. Of course I was bothered by it.
Of course.
He knows.
To this day,
To this day, I'm angry about it. I just don't want some fucking asshole on the phone. Hey, give me a little bit of
respect.
Granted, I wasn't that well known to this guy because he's from fucking Sweden.
But how interested is he in his movie? Gay. I mean, here's somebody coming in to audition for him.
Yeah.
I don't know if he talked through every audition, but obviously he's a terrible director.
He was arrogant, that's all. I hate arrogance.
Fucking Robin. Always throwing her like 3 cents of nonsense in because she knows anything.
I mean, we have a body of work to check to how he would have acted during this, and that, my favorite is still the Gary Shandling, where he couldn't even play himself. I mean, literally could not play himself in a contemporary way, and to think that he could even fake death, because Gilbert at least looked like he died. So could you imagine the Wig trying to do that?
I don't even know what you're talking about because I never saw the movie. So what's the story? They showed the
scene that at the end of it, Gilbert dies at the end of the scene. Could you imagine the big Frankenstein wig falling backwards and dying?
Yeah, he can't be a loser. He has to be. He has to be Howard at the end of Private Parts. Turning to the camera and saying, "You gotta, you gotta respect that, don't you? You gotta respect that. He's got to have that smarmy look on his face."
You can't lose sight on how high maintenance he is. 90 seconds of film, and it's just this huge toiling negotiations and Buckwald's involved, and it could have taken, but everything is a problem with him. He can't do 90 seconds.
That's the constant through your clips, John, your audio. He constantly does. Everything was a huge problem.
Never, ever, ever discount vanity with this guy. In the situations and the hair, and I know it sounds like minutia. I'm telling you, the vanity drives many decisions he makes. Even something like that.
Well, as Two Master puts here, Harlan had no say in the script or casting of the movie, and probably didn't even have final cut. The casting director was the person in charge at the time, and was the person Howard probably had to impress.
Mooney, Two Master's a bit of a YouTube celebrity. He got brought up by a huge podcast the other day. Was it Rogan, Two Master, or something like that? I was surfing and it was
no shit. Really?
He's so ubiquitous.
Oh, good.
Really,
Two Master. Good work, man.
According to Wikipedia, according to Michael Jennings, Harlan's movies have earned $525 million in the United States and over $1 billion in the worldwide aggregate box office as of October 2016. Robin, right again. Exactly.
Yep, absolutely. Dead on. He's made $1.6 billion worldwide. You're right. He's terrible.
Horrible human being.
Way to go, Jennings. Nice intel.
Let's move on to his classic role, which never occurred. The Adventures of Fartman, unproduced, in development circa 1992.
Oh my God.
And he would have been the role of Fartman. At the 1992 MTV Video Music Awards, Howard Stern appeared on stage as the character Fartman, a superhero whose extreme flatulence makes him fly. It was a character that originated in the pages of National Lampoon, so very, very original on your part there, Howard. We've discussed this in other podcasts. But Stern expanded and developed Fartman on his radio show. Not really, though.
No,
I think he used him on air maybe 4 or 5 times. But I think that was just a build up to the fact that he knew that he was going to be doing this. So that's the only reason it was edited.
Fartman was him just deepening himself and using echo. I mean, that was literally the whole character.
I'm Fartman. Exactly.
Do you really see him sub-licensing to National Lampoon? Do you really see him? I don't either. He'll never play ball. He's the worst employee. He's the worst guy to work with. It would never work.
Stern was planning on starring in a movie based on the character. J.F. Lawton, Pretty Woman Under Siege, wrote the script to The Adventures of Fartman, and New Line Cinema had verbally agreed to make the film, which was targeted for release in summer of 1993. But the project fell apart over script problems. Stern's unwillingness to grant the studio's wishes by making the movie PG-13 and a disagreement over merchandising rights, because everybody wants a Fartman doll, don't we?
I probably would have bought one. I was that crazy.
You probably would have. Howard Stern ended up making Private Parts as his first movie instead of Fartman, but he then resurrected the project in 1999, claiming that multiple studios were interested, only to abandon it once more in favor of focusing on developing TV series. So again, I call bullshit.
100%.
That's funny. Fudgesicle brings up a good point. That's right. Stuttering John's movie, One Too Many, was a fucking National Lampoon. That's right. Mm-hmm. And he had to sub-license with them. That's bizarre. Holy shit.
Yeah, and I bet you Howard didn't want to do that. And you know what? Honestly, let's be honest. Anything called Fartman is going to be a male-dominated movie, right? So there's nobody on date night is going to say, honey, you know, I really want to go see Fartman. And that was the problem with Private Parts as well. It's like nobody really wanted to go see a Howard Stern movie until they turned it into almost a chick flick, that had a little bit of porn in it, but was basically a love story, right? That's what it was supposed to be.
It was the love letter to Allison.
Right before he left her. Exactly.
About Allison.
Exactly. And so the interesting thing to me is that Fartman, it had to only appeal to 12 and 13-year-olds. It had to be PG-13. It had to. Yeah. I mean, really, like adult men over the age of 25 would 1,000% have no interest in seeing this.
Monique.
I don't know about
perfect rating. Absolutely.
Yeah, PG-13 is the right rating, though. It is.
Oh, it is the right rating.
No, it is. She's right. From a business standpoint, you have to do that. You can't make it an R.
No, you can't. And I can't even, I would kill to see screen bits from that fucking movie. I would kill to see who they were thinking of hiring. And you know what? Fucking Howard, he would have done the exact same thing. He would have hired like Jackie and Robin and Fred to be in the movie because Buchwald would have negotiated like shit deals for them with no back end whatsoever, and all the back end would have gone to Howard, and all the merchandising would have gone to Howard, and I can almost guarantee that the reason it didn't come around was because he probably just as usual wanted too fucking much because he's a greedy cunt.
It's always money or vanity every time.
I mean, he is. That's always the bottom line. I mean, honest to God, they probably offered him a very fair first movie kind of deal where maybe he got a taste of the merchandising, and then they kind of split on the profit, whatever, because it wasn't really his idea. And he being the big baby, King Baby, he wanted all the merch because it was his likeness. He would have to have every part of the merchandising. And
right.
It just
well, you remember him. You remember him perpetually complaining about HBO doesn't pay anything. Comedy Central doesn't pay. He would claim he's negotiating with HBO and Comedy. Every 2 weeks, he would claim he's negotiating with HBO and Comedy Central or something. And it goes on. They pay fine. Look at the salary Gandolfini got. Gary Shandling was set for a lot of years. They pay. Sarah Jessica Parker cleaned up on Sex and the City. They pay. They don't pay his fee. What he wants is beyond.
Think that Buchwald. I honestly think Buchwald tried to shop him to those places, and he kind of threw a number out of what they would want per episode, and they said no, and that was the entire negotiation. Literally, that was it. Done. That's why they're cheap.
And he's so focused on his brand, that I think that became the ultimate thing, and I think that's what wound up getting a Marcy into his world. Is that the brand was more important than the show as a cohesive unit, and
Monique, if you were an executive and he pulled that brand shit with you, he'd just be like, your brand is you take film High Pitch Eric taking shits and weighing them. That's your brand. What are you protecting? What are you talking about? What brand?
I don't know.
The thing is, even now with this whole brand, I mean, the brand is it doesn't have any type of star power. It has no pull. It literally is. It has the equivalent of toilet bowl cleaner. I mean,
world's greatest interviewer. That's who he is. It's world's greatest interviewer.
Yeah.
So let's take a little look see.
Gentlemen!
Oh yes.
So the next
rest
movie I
in
want to put out
peace.
is Fart Man, which is going to be a complete departure from Private Parts. The script is great, and I've got to now go out and choose a studio and do it with them. But I haven't done that yet. But I'm going to do it soon because I'm anxious to make another movie. And I know Fart Man will make tons of money. That's number one, because it's good. And number two, because it'll...
By the way, everybody in that audience is like, what the fuck are we watching right now? What the fuck?
I would pull out my gun.
24-year-old male out there. And actually, it's just a good story. I mean, I've seen 6 new movies that have just come out, and Fart Man is better than every one of them.
Right.
People will see this 12 times. So I took the script. I've shown it to one studio so far, and they want to make it. So I don't know what I'm doing yet with that, but I showed it to one guy so far at a major studio, and he says, I'll make it. The studio executive said to me, I got to tell you the truth, I was going to throw your script right in the garbage, but it caught my attention because you're involved with it. So as I read it, he goes, I couldn't believe it. It's really good. So I said, okay, so you want to do it? He goes, yeah. And that was that. So I don't know, my agent's working on it. And there's hot chicks in it. It was written by J.F. Lawton, the guy who wrote Pretty Woman.
Right.
And what's weird about it is when I went back and read the script, I realized, how Austin Powers was happening? And it was kind of a spoof of spy movies?
Yeah.
This thing is so in tune with like a spoof of...
What is this? What is this, Bond?
That's Ralph's design on Channel 9 show.
Channel 9.
Right?
Holy
it's Adam West there on the left.
shit.
Isn't this crazy? And Fred and Robin are sitting there in front of him. Fucking retarded. It's so retarded.
I remember
And Ralph did that. Ralph did that fucking costume design.
That's a Ralph.
Yeah.
100%.
Went and bought a toilet
I
seat
love
and
this.
everything.
Yes, yeah, it's just really good. I know a good movie when I read it. I can't do some of these movies they send me. But they offer me some good bucks, too, to do them. But what the hell's going to sell out and do that crap?
Good movie these days.
Yeah. I don't know when I'm going to start shooting that. Maybe in the summer. I got to get the whole thing together. I don't even know if we have enough time to get going on that in the summer. Who knows? And then it means not having a whole summer. That's the other thing.
Wow.
This is
Oh, God
Marnie, our
forbid.
old intern.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Marnie.
Well, I wanted to know if I could be in your next movie, Fart Man.
Well,
What'd you play?
What would you, Mrs. Fartman? Now,
Oh yeah, this is unbelievable. I just need to put this is this is an intern who used to work there calls in.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah,
and
I made a
we're
point
supposed to
include that.
we're supposed to believe that this isn't set up,
I made a point to include that. I skipped ahead and put her in.
Yeah, that was great.
I
Good
thought it was
work,
good.
Johnny.
Yeah.
listen, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
I never take part in the casting. I let a casting director do that.
As soon as you say you want to make a movie,
Right.
all of your friends start hitting you up.
They're all losers.
Hey,
Like no, like I wouldn't mind if like some
Tom Cruise calls.
Yeah, right. Like why doesn't he call and say, hey, buddy? I get calls from Marnie the intern, who's of course never been in a movie.
Really going to help you out.
Right.
Howard, I just want you to know I'd be happy to help out in any way that I can.
Thank you, sweetie.
You're welcome.
All right, that's Marnie. There you go.
Sirianni hit you up for a part in Private Parts.
Yep.
She called?
Yeah.
Oh, she called.
They all did. All the wives were in Private Parts.
I know.
I know. How do you think when I felt when Jackie's wife called me and said she would sleep with me for a part of the movie?
Wow.
Yeah, that was embarrassing.
And it was nice of you not to accept her offer.
No, I slept with her.
I gotta say, that's probably the worst, most ill-conceived movie, like ever.
Oh, absolutely.
What the fuck is this Soldier 50? Why doesn't Monique just admit it to hating Black? How the fuck? Wow.
Damn, where did that come from?
How did that? That's really.
I have one of the best rated racist radars of, and I've never seen racism in it. Never. In fact, we were just on before. Dennis goes, "Do black people still like orange soda, or is it Sprite now?"
What?
I'm like, Dennis,
it's grape soda now. Come on.
It's grape soda, and Beanie Mac is in there. Hey, black guy, Beanie Mac is definitely in the house.
Hey, can we just check how he's doing?
I know racism.
How are you,
You
Beanie?
are not racist.
I don't think
you're Benicio del Toro.
Oh,
How
I thought he
could
was
you be?
there.
You're half Hispanic, half Italian. It's such a rare combination.
Excuse me. I told you all this. According to my 23andMe, I am 18% sub-Saharan African. So yes, I do have black blood in me. I mean, not physically in me, but
I'm 5. I'm only 5%. Sorry.
Yeah, so that's part of my DNA. So yeah,
Monique
I mean,
Throne.
I know. I would have adopted 2 little, chocolate babies. That would have been
And we
like
have
awesome.
the real Chaka Khan in our chat. Come on, this is very, very.
Can we say that?
Spielberg.
Okay, so let me continue on. Let me continue on. Okay, Sam Kinison biopic. So I don't really know a lot about this one, and I would like to talk about this just a little bit. Unproduced, in development, mid-90s. Producer Howard Stern. Oh, it says producer with a blank space, so I'm not sure if that meant producer Howard Stern or whatever. Howard Stern bought the movie rights to Brother Sam, the Sam Kinison biography by Bill Kinnison and Steve Delson. Yep. Stern was a big fan of Kinnison's comedy and at one point called him one of our generation's greatest comics. Kinnison was a frequent guest on the show, excuse me, and the two even had an on-air feud that they squelched relatively quickly. Stern's Sam Kinison movie never got off the ground, and he no longer holds the movie rights to Sam Kinnison's life story. I'm going to go out there on a limb and just say that I never got fucking Sam Kinison either. Like, he wasn't my kind of comedian.
He's like very polarizing. Very hit or miss. Absolutely.
I don't even know if it's necessarily the polarization thing of him, but the yeah, that's right. Exactly right. Monique brought Coke from Black. She doesn't hate them all. Do I know you, Alfie? You're exactly fucking right.
Are we going down this path?
Wow. Are we going down? I'm very Hey, you know what? I've admitted to all that shit, so I've no problem with it at all. I mean, so what? My nasal cavities are completely bare, but that's okay. That's okay. Oh, look who's here. Wait, I just saw.
Oh.
There he is. There's our Beanie Mac. Oh my God, so cute, black guy, so cute, so cute, black guy, so cute, so cute, black guy. Yeah, we're hoping you're doing well, Beanie
better. Yeah, is he walking well? Are you walking well, Beanie? Give us, let us know in the chat.
Wait, there is always Christina Brown.
Okay, Gary Puppet is writing as if he has like dyslexia. Howard only liked Kinnison because he did his show. You know, I think that the Kinnison was for him like the perfect. If he wasn't a comedian, he'd be a whack packer. You know, just drunk all the time, fucked up. You know, just spewing Kinnison, all sorts of shit.
Why do you think he gravitated towards Artie? Yeah. Right? I mean, you could exploit those things. So, Kinnison gave him a cool factor, too. He thought he was cool. It was like a rock and roll comedian he was associated with. If you ever see Kinnison's video, Wild Thing, which Howard turned down, or claims he did, It's like a gaggle of rock stars in there, and he was known as like the rock and roll comedian, sort of not counterculture, but he was very FU, and Howard thought it gave him a cool factor associating with him.
Oh, and
plus he was one of the few
you know?
comedians that actually would come on his show at the time. I mean, he wasn't really big with the comedian set, right?
So not only would he come on the show, but he would come in for hours on the show. And he would show up whenever he needed to show up, except for the one time that he went there. Well, actually, he did show up, got absolutely destroyed on champagne and cocaine, and then missed Joan Rivers' show later, which actually ended up having one of the funniest moments back then, the bad Chinese food. So,
well, Dennis, there's an old story that we can't pull up now, but it's a good old scandal that Howard got accused of supplying Kinnison Coke or the guests in general for the Times.
Really?
That was a pretty big story.
Yeah, that was a big thing.
That's a huge issue. I mean, is it much worse than supplying an alcoholic with liquor like he did with Hank the Angry Drunk?
Being that cocaine is a class 1 drug, yes.
No! I totally understand that, but you know, he enabled all the bad behavior because that's what sold memberships. Chaka Khan says, I saw Sam Kinison do his act at the Comedy Store at about 1 a.m. in the 80s. He was drunk and belligerent. Tiger Lily says, worst stand-up I ever went to was Sam at his height. He was completely wasted and brought these two bimbos on stage. It was sad. I believe that. I believe him to have not been a great stand-up artist. And he's another person similar to my dislike for Eric the Midget. I didn't appreciate Sam at all. I still don't. I don't care.
We'll agree to disagree.
You're not alone. You're not alone.
Well, tell me, Dennis. Well, so prove me wrong. Tell me what it is about him.
When he was sober, he was sharp. When he was sober, unfortunately, he was not sober enough. And he was very much a shock value and very different than a lot of the other comedians at the time. So I mean, he had a different take on doing things, and I mean, granted, it wouldn't have the length of it wouldn't be that long because you can only do the act for so long, and
supposedly he's a very good guy. So, well, by the way, Chaka Khan, can you? We're a bit the appeal to the comedy nerd in me, and tell us who else is on that set at the Comedy Store. I bet it was like a murderer's row. That time, the 80s. I bet you.
But you know what? You know what? And John, you and I have had this discussion multiple times. No, just about how during the 80s, most comedians were high, fucked up, on blow, drunk. All became sober.
Yeah,
like they all became amazing. Sober guys, right? And so their acts kind of changed after they decided to no longer be on drugs.
Yeah.
So
when you associate yourself with substances and that becomes the fuel and your persona. I mean, Artie's goes through that too. Artie's whole persona is based on being drunk and on drugs and derelict. And when you lose that, you lose your identity.
They all lose that though.
They all lose it.
You don't see guys in their 70s snorting coke and dropping ecstasy. You'll die. So everyone they have to end it at one point, but they become useless. Yeah, pretty
How do you say it in French? His raison d'entrée or whatever it is.
Raison
d'entrée. So it's his reason for living. I mean, it's their reason to continue being the way they were. And so the drugs and the alcohol defined them. But that's how it was in the 80s, I think. I mean, I think they were all that way. I think they all had that same kind of feeling. I didn't like the screaming. Monique. What, baby?
Chaka
here. Okay, let me get it up there.
That's pretty good.
Charlie Barnett, Barry Sobel, Eddie Murphy, and Rob. Wow, nice. That's a ridiculous set, actually. That's
Barry
like the
Sobel's
dream
a wigger,
team,
right, Chaka? Barry Sobel's the original wigger, I believe.
I have no idea who that is, but okay.
He did a bit. He goes, Asians are very good drivers. Black people are very quiet in movie theaters. That was like his
sarcasm.
Okay, so let me read on a little bit because we'll move on from Sam Kinison. Okay, Halloween: The Curse of Michael Myers, 1995. The role was Barry Sims, Who got it? Somebody named Leo Geter. So I don't know who that is, but okay, we'll continue on. Howard Stern was offered the part of DJ Barry, of course, DJ Barry Sims in this, the 6th installment of the Halloween franchise. Yeah, but by that point, it literally was like The Simpsons episode 5,997, right?
Yep. Sam
6th
Simon,
installment of Halloween franchise. Halloween 6, which also starred a young Paul Rudd, was a big failure and could have tarnished Stern's career if he had been involved. Stern would make his cinematic debut a couple of years later in Private Parts, but having a flop like this under his belt at that point might have made it tougher to get his own movie financed later on. That's probably actually very true because of Ford Fairlane. And remember what happened to Dice after that happened, right? He was persona non grata after that.
They had to go have his own film bomb so he could never make another movie ever again. And put a production company out of business.
But it got good reviews. So there was that. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of Halloween because it's queued up for us. And let's see who got that role. Somebody named Leo Geter. And let's see. Of course, doesn't everybody? Really, doesn't everybody?
Well, it's just so bad that
there's no volume, sweetheart.
There isn't. I'm talking.
It's copyright.
Okay. So who is that?
It's Leo absolutely Geter? It's awful, and you
is
can
that Leo
just see
Geter?
all this.
Is that Leo Geter?
No, but we're about to hear him.
Does anyone know that actor in the chat? Who the
no,
is like a kid actor?
He's on the radio.
Howard hates Halloween. Katie Aldana says so true.
Oh, that's right. He does.
Back Off with Barry Sims.
Okay, so this is the guy, and he has a small role. He's like a wise, he's a wisecracking DJ, and he talks to a few of the characters. I couldn't put the part in with Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd calls it and talks to him where you get the real sort of Howard Stern vibe.
Wow.
But this is just a bit of. I can't put the Paul Rudd in because it'll get copyright, unfortunately.
Okay,
but this is him talking, and it's just.
We can talk over it a little bit too.
Terrible.
Go ahead, go for it.
We're in the second hour of a special Halloween edition of Back Dock. Tomorrow night, we will be coming to you from Haddonfield, the town that has banned Halloween since 1989.
From Wayne's World.
When infamous serial killer Michael Myers.
He sounds like
about a dozen cops were killed in an explosion.
He sounds like. It's so stupid. He sounds like when the Hindenburg went down. Oh no! Tragedy!
Oh, it's
the humanity! Oh my God! Oh my humanity!
The super soldier serum became Captain America.
And there's Paul, and that's where we're going to stop that. We're going to stop that there because we don't want to.
We don't want to get in trouble.
I saw this thing about Paul Rudd the other day. One of these makes you feel old things. Apparently, he's the same age now that Willard Scott. Will
Chamberlain.
Wilford Brimley. Wilford Brimley was in Willow. So he had a big walrus mustache and bald and old man physique. Paul Rudd's the same age as Wilford Brimley in that movie, which is like 1990 or something.
Okay,
so is he going to move on and do Diabetes?
Yeah.
Diabetes.
Ruddibetes.
Okay, J.S. Watts. Everybody's so excited that J.S. Watts has now entered the chat room and said, just got here. What's this episode about? Thank you for joining us, J.S. Watts. What we're doing tonight is we're reviewing all the shitty roles that Howard Stern claims that he was offered and for whatever reason didn't get or didn't read well for, or just decided, fuck it, I'm not doing this role because it's bad for my brand. And that's exactly what we're talking about right now. All right, so let me move on. So that was The Curse of Michael Myers. Okay. Next. Oh, okay. Jane, unproduced, in development, 1997. Jane. We all remember this one. Yeah, we had a long talk about this on the Private Parts show. Stern signed on to star opposite Melanie Griffith in this independent film that would have been his follow-up to Private Parts. The movie ran into financing difficulties, and Stern sued the production company for the $1.5 million he was promised to make the film, but he ended up settling for a $50,000 settlement. So, do we know anything about this movie? Do we know
John.
anything?
John will know some.
It was after the private parts. He thought he was a thespian now. Daniel Gay Jewish is suddenly getting every role. And there's a meeting. I sent you a clip of a meeting he claims he went on over the weekend, which I believe Melanie Griffith was at.
That's what we got. Yep.
And we're gonna.
This is great. Good work, John.
This meeting, I'm thinking of doing a movie. I was just thinking about it and trying to decide whether I should do this movie. It's somebody else's movie, and I would.
You're playing a character.
Yeah, I would appear in it.
Not like you play yourself.
No. It wouldn't be Howard Stern coming in. It's a guy some dude.
All right.
I figured it was kind of hush-hush and everything. And then I'm reading Michael Fleming's column in Variety, and it has my whole meeting.
What?
Yeah, the headline was Melanie Griffith flies in to meet with Howard Stern. It's just like,
do they announce everything they do?
Yeah, it was weird. I thought we were keeping it quiet, but I guess not.
No, I guess it's
yeah.
for public consumption.
Yeah.
So you met with Melanie Griffith?
So Azores is saying, didn't his contract for Jane demand only Ralph could pick his clothes and touch his hair?
Yes, of course.
I think it also demanded he get the nicest hotel room because you're so much bigger than Melanie fucking Griffith at the time. God, the hubris on him is actually shocking.
Hubris.
It's fucking shocking to me. All right, here we go. Hubris.
Yeah, boy, is she a knockout.
Really?
Oh my God, I didn't know what to expect.
I never think she looks that good.
Oh my God, she is a piece of ass. No wonder that Antonio Banderas is into her. All I'm going to say about it is because I don't like to talk about meetings until
something's done.
Until something's done. That's a movie star. I was like, oh my God, I can't control myself.
What kind of meeting was this?
Afterwards, and she said I was charming and a great guy, and I'm like, I was staring at her crotch the entire meeting. She was talking about they were shooting the movie. She had to be near Antonio, and then she'll fly to Antonio every night. And I was just like,
she's just talking about Antonio.
Yeah, right. And I'm just like, hey, wait a second, man. What about me?
I'm a guy.
I'm a dude. I expect to have sex during the filming.
Would you interact with her in the movie?
Wow. Oh yeah.
I mean.
Oh yeah. Yes.
But you don't get a love scene or anything.
No, we don't have any love scenes or anything like that. So we were just talking about it and stuff. It was nothing heavy, but.
What does she say in a business meeting? I mean, is she with people?
Yeah, well, I don't want to go into the details of it.
I'm not talking about details. I just want to know if she's running the business or is she just there.
I don't know what I tell you the truth. I didn't hear a word she said. It's like totally lost. No, we kissed a little because we're both actors. Actors do that.
I'm sorry. What do you say? We kissed a little.
We kissed hello.
Hello, because actors do that. I hate that.
He's
acting like he's an actor.
What's so great is to see you next Tuesday, Blobbin in this. I mean, good Lord. Blobbin's running around like, she's won 2 Academy Awards the way she's talking about her. I mean, seriously, this is amazing. It's even more hubris than friggin' Howard.
Robin is so jealous of every person that comes in contact with Howard that's female. You know that. She hates Beth.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm fucking sure of it.
The lesson for any movie studio or TV that plans to work with him, all you got to do is mention him, have a meeting with him, and pitch something, and he'll sue you. He'll just sue. It doesn't matter what you do. If he's remotely associated with it, he's going to sue you. Just keep that in mind next time you think about it, millennial.
Is there more to this clip?
Yeah, play it all. It's great. Yeah, it's good.
No, just kiss her on the cheek. Yeah, they even described the part in the article and everything, I play a gun-toting maniac. Not a far stretch, huh?
I can't.
I saw that coming.
With a Joey Ramone wig.
A gun-toting maniac. Wow.
Sorry, I just want to throw this out there because Ida, we are so excited that we are now monetized again. So you can donate in super chats, or there's something else, not really sure what it is. It's kind of new again for us, even though we used to have it on the last channel. But yeah, by all means, you can donate to us there, and we would love you for it. We will never do a Patreon. We will never beg you for money. We will never, make it an issue. But since you brought it up, I'm just going to tell you that super chats are available. So thank you, Ida, for asking. Okay, so let's move on a little bit. So then we have Dirty Work in 1998. And his role would have been the devil. And instead of him getting the role, Adam Sandler got the role.
Yep.
Yes.
Although it's only a tiny part in the Norm Macdonald movie Dirty Work, the role of the devil was offered to Howard Stern before Macdonald went to Okay, this is what it says. So sorry if I'm reading it wrong. Before McDonald went to McDonald's SNL co-star Adam Sandler.
Right.
Stern's future sidekick Artie Lang also starred in Dirty Work, and Norm Macdonald and director Bob Saget were frequent guests on the radio show. So this would have been a nice opportunity for Stern to work with his friends. This was a blink and you missed it role, though, so I'm guessing Howard Stern wasn't beating himself up over letting this one slip through his fingers. And so here's one thing I just want to mention about this, and maybe Chaka Khan, who I think is actually an actress. I think, there's something about the fact that people go to people and say, hey, do you want to be in this movie? I think it's a great role for you. But, how many times out of 10 does that person not get the role? I mean, it just happens that way. Yeah. So I think it's like it's all bullshit, really. I mean, it's just bullshit talk about whether or not they can do that. No, super chats are on YouTube. We're on YouTube now with super chats. You know what? I don't know. I'm sorry. Never mind that I'm talking about this.
So, all right. So the whole bullshit that the Adam Sandler thing, the devil role was small. It was huge, but it is memorable in the movie. Yeah. It is a big thing in the movie.
It's the only thing I remember about that movie, to be quite honest.
Exactly.
It's awful.
And God
it's
forbid you do
terrible.
a big pro quo to these people who do your show, from Saget to Norm Macdonald to obviously Artie. God forbid. You just have a little fun and do the thing. Like you said, Dennis, it would take one day, if that. And they would, they'd cater the whole bullshit around him to do it. And he can't even step up. Don Rickles is in the movie, your supposed hero. You get to be in a movie with him. Nope, you can't. You somehow can't make this happen.
No, he probably wanted a trailer. He probably wanted, he probably wanted to be star treatment for fucking 3 minutes on film. 3 minutes. It's literally how long that role is.
Well, let's take a look. New York. Let's take a look at it, shall we? All right, everybody's telling me there's no super chats. I just sent you a comment, Bon. If you could check on that and see if that's like Mo. Can you do 2 jumping jacks, please?
Do them now.
This is the man show.
All right. Yeah, exactly. Hold on. Let me get out my trampoline so that I can do it.
Ziggy.
All right, here we go.
I'm going to do another movie. Mm-hmm. I'm getting my ass in gear on that. I'm actually working on the writing of it and the whole thing, because I got to do the whole thing over again, where I'm involved in every aspect. Because after my movie, I got offered some parts that were real crappy, and then like people, a lot of people wanted me to do cameos in their movie,
But as you,
as me, or like,
of course,
I was just talking to Artie. Artie did this movie Dirty Work with Norm, and they sent me this.
Look at chubby young Artie.
Yeah.
Look at let me go
with
back.
With a nose and everything.
Look at chubby young Artie, everybody.
I was just talking to Artie.
Look at him. Oh, what?
Yeah. And Artie did this movie Dirty Work with Norm, and they sent me.
Look at.
Yeah.
Look at chubby young Artie. So cute. Wow.
The script, they were like, "Hey, we want you to play the devil in the movie." So I didn't like the script, so I wasn't going to do it. But it was like 1 page, and it was like the dumbest part.
Oh.
I'm really glad I didn't do it. Did you ever see the movie?
Dirty Work, I've never been able to.
So insulting to Artie.
No, of course not.
Favor and say it. So I turned down the part.
She has 5 million fucking hours of TV time. That's all she does is watch everything from The Bachelor to, fucking Chopped on the Food Network. And she doesn't have time to watch some stupid fucking movie with people that the entirety of the Howard Stern staff know. But okay.
That she would kill to be in. Yep.
That she would kill, of course. Well,
absolutely.
There's obviously no black people in Dirty.
Right. And I got to play you the part. It's a conversation with, I would have been the devil, and Gary Coleman is talking to me.
Oh.
It's kind of funny to watch the movie. I could have had that part. And
how could you not want to be in a movie with Norm Macdonald and Artie? Like, seriously, for him,
I don't know. You're not fun. Remember, he's not fun.
Man, how smart I was.
No, he's not.
I think he was asking Adam to do something else, and then when you turned down the devil, Adam, I think, took the devil part. But I think you would have done very well in it.
That's the classic baby gorilla.
I think it's a mistake.
That was the problem with the movie.
I literally think that Norm was laughing genuinely in this part.
Oh, yeah,
he was. Yep.
Right, where he's talking to
Yes.
him and calling him
Yep.
this is the baby gorilla part, right?
Look at you.
Look,
Hi, ice cream, having a good time swimming around down there.
Yeah, let's go back just a little bit because just Norm's laugh is just so
point.
fucking genuine.
That was the problem with the movie.
Yeah, I think it's a mistake you made.
I think if I had been in it, it would have been a whole
elevated the
turnaround.
whole thing.
That's Chris Farley's brother next to Norm.
Wow. Oh yeah,
and
Kevin.
And here's the role. I've had to clip it real tight, but here's this god awful role. Imagine Howard doing this. Ugh.
Like we eat the pig and then together we burn.
God.
Burn. You belong with me.
Oh. You can see he's almost laughing doing it because he knows how stupid it is. But at least
that seemed no different than any other Adam Sandler acting.
That's true.
Yeah,
didn't he do Little Nicky, which was quite possibly the worst movie ever made in the history of movies? Like, I wonder if he just took from that devil and decided to make that movie.
That makes Little Nicky makes Ford Fairlane look like Citizen Kane.
Okay.
Big call, bro.
Bon Jovial just told me that super chats are now enabled. I didn't realize that we didn't have them enabled. So we just made some changes to our channel, just so you know. We're doing like a little bit of a new branding thing, and we are trying to make most of our shows like 2 hours long. We'll see how that works out. But
Taco Tuesday.
It's going quite well.
I think we're good. We're rolling a little bit right now. All right, I'm going on to the next one. Here we go.
By the way, can I just say, Monique, Bon, you're doing a phenomenal job on this, blending my audio into your video. It's really good. It's
love it.
smooth.
I love it. We're working on your album as well. You know, your solo album. It's you and I coming together, and you are the ferret. You ferreted out these clips that I don't even know. Did you go on the dark web or something to find some of these?
I'm actually getting better. My searching skills is actually better. Ooh. I got taught the Control F button, and it changed my life. Nice. My Control F buddy.
Nice.
Just so you guys all know, I have absolutely no idea how the chat thing works. So if anybody is in there who knows how this works,
they just need to refresh their page, and the super chats will come up now.
Does it come up on YouTube as an option? Is that what it is?
Yeah, they need to refresh the page, and then they'll see it now because I turned it on.
Okay. J.S. Watts says, I remember back in 2017 when I was talking to an ex about hobbies, I mentioned listening to Howard Stern. She was 27 at the time. I was 25. I remember her saying, he's still in the radio? I thought he retired. So most of us 90s kids either thought he had died a long time ago or retired. Imagine 2000s kids. LOL. He's a has-been. Yeah, you know what the funny thing about that is that what's his face? Beetlejuice has more views and more
TikTok.
People looking at his stuff on TikTok, on Insta, everywhere than Howard does combined with all of his social media. And so it's actually shocking.
Exponentially better, like 10 times. They'll never bring it up because it makes.
Thank you, yay, Pibble Girl. Does Jackie wear ladies' robes? Yes, Jackie does wear ladies' robes.
That's a man's robe. That is
he came to my home with that floral red robe, and he power washed my driveway for me. So yeah, he's awesome that way. It's called Power Robe Washing Inc. And so this is what he does for a living. He's got this little weird serial killer van that he goes around in. You know, Jackie, Dennis, that actually might not be a bad idea.
You're right. You're right. we get working on that now.
Dennis, would you do a power washing YouTube video, like a how-to kind of thing?
You know, I probably could.
Full Ginzo
power washing is very satisfying. It is. It's a very, very satisfying thing.
There is a right and wrong way. There is a right and wrong way.
Thank you, Shane. Thank you so much. See, I'm so glad super chats are back. Oh my god, Chaka Khan, let me rock you with your $5 fucking. You're awesome, Ida, you don't have to give that much money.
Like
awesome,
right?
Wow. That's a lot of money.
I'll maybe be able to stop my clicking now with my fucking thing that Bon Jovial keeps telling me I have. All right, what's
I
next
don't know
on
what you're talking about.
Yeah, okay, of course you don't. Of course you don't.
Batman.
What is queued up? Oh, Batman. Okay, so let me talk about it a little bit, and
Okay.
let me thank Fudgesicle for giving us $10 radio kicker my COVID. Oh, see, that's our job. See, so as long as you're vaccinated and masked up, I don't see you in the ICU at all, Fudgesicle. So I'm happy with you. All right, what are we doing? Batman?
Scarecrow.
Batman Triumphant.
Scarecrow,
Unproduced.
yeah. Scarecrow.
So that was an unproduced Batman movie?
Yeah.
Yes.
There was a weird time in between the Burton to Schumacher Batman movies to the Christopher Nolan movies. And I think they were toying with making another one. And I think the Batman and Robin Clooney movie killed the franchise. Joel Schumacher directed the 2, and then Burton directed the first 2, and then Nolan did the thing in 2005.
Okay, then.
Wow.
Is somewhere in here.
Yeah, he's smart about this. Okay, here we go. Let me read to you what they say. So the role would have been Jonathan Crane or the Scarecrow, which is very, very interesting to me that they would have had him work on. I can't even imagine him being able to act. Okay, that's number one. Because there's nothing he's ever done that's actually been acting. Warner Brother executives were happy with the job, right, Joel Schumacher was doing in Batman and Robin before it was released, and hired him to direct his third Batman movie. George Clooney and Chris O'Donnell signed on to return, and the studio was rumored to be after Howard Stern to play the Scarecrow, the movie's lead villain, even though Schumacher had said he wanted Nicolas Cage. The plot also called for the Joker to return in a Scarecrow-inspired hallucination that Batman has, with Jack Nicholson rumored to be reprising his role. And the Batman the Animated Series character Harley Quinn was going to be another villain, written as the Joker's daughter. By the time Batman and Robin was released, the movie did poorly at the box office and even worse with the press. So the studio scrapped plans for Batman Triumphant and decided to take the Batman franchise in a different direction, a direction that didn't involve a Howard Stern. So
yeah, well, the character of Jonathan Crane. I mean, I don't want to get all geeked out here, but he's
geek out because I have no idea.
He's a college professor at Gotham University, and Cillian Murphy played him in the Nolan movies, and I thought he was miscast. And he's an intellectual, and he's a professor of fear. So fear is a part of psychology, and basically he treats you, and he uses lectures and stuff. Howard can't do. You have to become a college professor. You'd have to be. Howard's anti-intellectual. He can't play this role. He has no business doing it. It's for oh god, like you ever see George Will, the news guy?
Yeah,
that's kind of what
George
Jonathan Crane would look like.
Yeah,
Howard's got no business. And now the visual when he turns into the Scarecrow after put the shit on. But again, it's vanity. Howard's not going to fucking change the hair.
All they had to do is take Howard's wig off, and he would have been perfectly fine.
Exactly, but that's always gonna stop it. It's always
the only time he has ever been able to dress up and look like a character is when he's doing a black man. Let's be honest. He's never really done any other role other than the one time, which is absolutely
right said Fred.
That is actually one of the funniest things I think he's ever done. I laugh at that every single time we watch it. And that was with Corey Feldman, right? Yeah, it was phenomenal. I think that was actually one of the. But other than that, tell me when he ever did anything other than a black man. I'll wait.
When he plays a black,
he's actually
when he's dressed up as something other than him trying to look like his most handsome self with his wigs and his body and stuff like that.
When he tried to play Larry King on the old Channel 9 show, and he threw it was basically a mask.
Yeah, Larry King.
But that's the last time. That's the footage of him taking the wig off, and now it looks like. And so that was way too much exposure of the hair, and it hasn't been done since.
What's up with you?
So he won't.
Exactly. That's a funny bit. What's up with youth is quite possibly one of the funniest things I've ever laughed at on a Howard Stern video component. All right, so let's play a little bit of him talking about the Batman thing, and
and this is just him. This is just him in hindsight.
Sorry,
he's talking about this. I'm assuming when the Dark Knight Rises came out, I think a caller called in talking about the Scarecrow. and he goes, "Oh, I always wanted that." So he's talking about the past, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The late 90s.
I really wanted that role.
Oh man, this is a new up and coming actor. He's pretty young.
They didn't even audition me.
Yeah, they should have. Hey, I think he would have made a great Scarecrow.
By the way, I don't audition, so Hollywood knows.
But
You should.
didn't even try.
They should have asked, and I should have said, I don't audition. You
Nice
want me?
They should know you would be perfect for it. Why did I need an audition?
You want to see my acting? Look at Private Parts.
Incredible.
Exactly.
That's all you got.
That's how it is.
So this translates to an
No, I mean,
intellectual fear professor.
You know what? I would have been an excellent Scarecrow, don't you think? I've got the build for it.
That's all.
And
Just the
certainly
build.
have a bad attitude.
But nobody will see your face, though. Really.
What do you mean?
If you put on the
Oh, he wears a mask?
Yeah, well, not.
How great is that? He doesn't even know. He's supposed to be an expert on comics. He doesn't even know that the Scarecrow is a baghead.
He knows nothing about the Scarecrow, exactly.
Glad it's a good movie. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah. Isn't that sad, John? He's hopeless. He's just...
Wow. I mean, not even a clue of what the character looks like. I guess he thought it was just a guy with straw sticking out of his...
Yeah, like from the Wizard of Oz. He thought that's how they dress him up. He thought they put the hat on and everything, and he'd be wandering down a gold path.
Actually, it didn't have to even put a fake nose on it. Just use his.
Well, that's
I totally
that's
see that.
I mean, that's why the rumor ran wild, because the name and the optics of it, that he could just not have to do anything and just come out. But it isn't that simple. Scarecrow's probably one of the best Batman villains as far as just the cerebral take, and he's not going to do anything where he's not playing himself. There's no
it's
way
fully
he could
nuanced, and he doesn't know how to do that. So it's not like he would be able to. I mean, look at how the Joker has been fully realized, or how other parts have been completely reimagined as not just being like a gag or like something stupid. So it's just
exactly. You wouldn't be able to take the character seriously with him playing it. It would completely take you out of. He has no chameleon act whatsoever. So it would take you completely out of the role, and you're just thinking, "That's Howard Stern. What am I watching? This is ridiculous."
Exactly.
You're
exactly
absolutely right, Monique.
All right, so let's move on. What did I do? Some camera move, Mo. What
you
did I
dropped
do?
the camera down like you're flaunting.
What? Oh, no. I'm trying to actually cue something up for us for our next TV project, which is Howard Stern, the high school years.
Poor Gary Puppet just had a seizure, I think.
Oh, I wasn't even looking. I'm sorry. I was. Okay, so let's go. Howard Stern, the high school years, unaired animated series on Spike TV in 2004. Macho cable channel Spike TV signed on to produce Howard Stern, the high school years, an animated series from Stern. Michael Cera, then just a budding actor on Arrested Development, signed on to voice the titular character, a teenage version of the king of all media. Spike ordered 13 episodes and production began, but Stern was unhappy with the look of the animation, and it would have been too expensive to produce a show that looked how he wanted. So the project was scrapped altogether. I'm holding out hope that we'll still get to see Michael Cera play a 20-something Howard Stern someday. John happened to send me
the concept art.
Yeah, so where'd that come from?
Reddit. Some dude I wish I could credit him. I saw it the other day, and I thought, Jesus Christ, we got it. It was too weird that we were doing this, and that turned up at the same time. It's a strange coincidence.
It was probably
so
Two
I
Master.
saved it.
He knows all.
I know, it's got to be right. Two Masters behind everything. And so I don't know if you got the audio. I sent you audio about him with Albie Hecht from Spike TV, and he came on a year
I will look for that
before
momentarily, but I just wanted to show everybody the concept art.
Wow.
So who is that supposed to be?
That's
in
Howard
this,
on the left. That's Ray on the right, and that's
not Ray. That can't be Ray. Too young.
Is it Allison?
Is it?
Did they put?
I'd say Allison.
She wouldn't have
Maybe
existed.
it's
I know,
sister.
but it looks like Allison.
Maybe it's
It's Ellen. It's Ellen. Maybe it's Ellen. Yeah.
Yeah, it's too young to be Ray. There's no way.
Oh, true. But why is he? Oh, okay.
Oh, and they have him. I mean, listen, he was actually more unattractive than this. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I know. That's actually making him look pretty.
That's actually exactly. That makes him look like some emo sad sack, and that's totally
he actually looks
not.
like Emo Phillips with long hair.
Forgot about that guy.
Doreen Morgan said it's way too detailed for animation. So can you just tell me a little bit about what this Nazi propaganda? Can you tell me what the context was behind this this picture coming up on Reddit, Johnny? Any idea?
I think it was the title was just like concept art for Howard Stern the high school years, what they had pitched as to promote it in advance, and this is how it's gonna, when they tease something for a few years and they use the same godforsaken picture over and over again. I think that's what they were gonna use as a promotional tool to hype it.
Okay. All right. So this is all we really know about this. I mean, I would kill to have seen any clips from that.
The killer though is that how many years did he promote this damn thing? I mean, seriously, it was
forever.
Years. Like 3-4 years, it would on and on and on about the animation and all the other bullshit.
Dennis, he spent again to the point where if this doesn't come out, you're gonna look like such a fucking fool.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's the hype and the huckster promoting it, just no different than any other thing. And you're like, this. Maybe he was bragging about having scripts written and shit every day.
And it might have been. I mean, what was it that it said here? Michael Cera was signed on. Spike ordered 13 episodes. Production began.
I do have evidence of him talking to the head of Spike, and that's the clip I sent you. And then introducing when Spike TV got up.
Can you tell me what it's called?
It's called I'll Be Hecked. Howard Stern, the high school years announcement years with Spike TV president I'll Be Hecked.
I'll Be Hecked. I got it.
Perfect.
All right, let's do a little bit of this. Hopefully it comes up. Just bear with me.
Irish dude. I'll Be Hecked.
Every show is our first, as you know.
Every time's first time.
For a little guy.
I'll Be Hecked.
Oh, you can't hear that, can you?
Yeah, we can.
You keep telling me, but Spike TV, right?
I'll Be Hecked is the biggest name in broadcasting right now.
I'm sorry not to know.
From TNN to Spike TV.
I know what I did wrong.
A very brilliant move. He hired me to.
Let me do it again.
Fox.
Is that better?
Little guy.
I'll Be Hecked is who, Robin?
I don't know. You keep telling me, but Spike TV, right?
I'll Be Hecked is the biggest name in broadcasting right now.
I'm sorry not to know.
He went from TNN to Spike TV, and he made a very brilliant move. He hired me to do a cartoon called Howard Stern, the high school years. Although it seems to be some discrepancy with the name of this thing is.
Why? What do you think the name is? What does he say?
I think it's Howard Stern, the high school years.
And what does he say it is?
Albie, what do you think the name of the show is?
I think it's whatever you say it is, Howard.
Well, there you go.
No discrepancy.
Because I heard some of the guys saying it was like Howard Stern, young years.
As long as it has Howard Stern in it.
That's all. But it's going to be a good cartoon. We're working on. We're at the very early stages of it, though. But I've seen some of the artwork. It's very
We're
fun.
talking next year, right?
We hope. I mean, I would think so, right, Albie?
Yes, it is possible.
Wow.
Are you working on it now?
Yeah, kind of. Sure. Yeah, I am. Albie Hecked recently went through a trauma.
I'm sorry, who the fuck is Albie Hecked?
The head of
He's the head of Spike TV. Who showed it, supposedly.
It was the Brain Trust here.
Yeah. Did you ever think?
I mean, what were some of the other names?
Brain Trust?
We don't want to go through those, Robin. Well, we had other names. We had some, adjectives, some men's names, some other, type of.
So what he goes into here, Monique, a little bit.
The reason you called
it's a little weedy, but it's kind of interesting.
Reveal the settlement with.
Yeah.
Spike fucking Lee sued Spike TV for taking his name. I don't understand how he had any like the name Spike is. There's no other Spikes in the world. And
yeah, I know. I had a girlfriend named Michelle Fox. I'm sure she has a huge lawsuit on her hands.
Oh yeah, damn it! You should have killed her.
Exactly.
And they settled with him. They settled with him for $500,000.
Really?
And a Charles Oakley jersey.
But let's just say you're very happy.
I am extremely happy with how it came out. We got the name, we moved on, and we got to use it, and that's what we wanted, and that's what we asserted we could do, and that's what he backed off on, and we admitted, and we moved on.
Well, I am proud to be part of the new Spike Television. I was behind you in supporting you that the name of the television channel should be Spike. The hell is Spike Lee?
I am particularly impressed with some of the animated work you're doing. And you are calling in why? To say what?
Well, today we're officially Spike, and we're the channel goes at 9 o'clock.
Wait, how long ago was this? What year is this?
Oh, this is 03.
Is this when they were talking about the high school years?
Yeah, this is
so
when he announced it.
2004-ish is what they're saying online. Right. So it's probably sometime around
that's
when
it was supposed to come out, and all year he's hyping it and claiming he's writing scripts, and it never sees. It's fucking animation, it's just like what 13 episodes? You can't even. He's so ridiculously impossible, difficult to even come out with a pilot. There's nothing here. All that shit, nothing, zero. By the way, Monique, that guy Albie Hecht. Was it who was it? The Chaka Khan? Yeah, he's the Nickelodeon head. So he was like behind all that Dan Schneider, child stuff and the weirdness, and he's a lot of scandals over there, a lot of weirdness.
Well, I don't know. He's a cartoon producer. I don't know that he has any responsibility for that fucking fleshy ham-faced
I think he was head of
pedo.
Nickelodeon.
That was there. Yes, you're right, Chaka. Animation does take forever.
Yeah,
hence the reason I wait almost 2 years for fucking Rick and Morty's to come out. So I think that it does take a long time. I don't think he just had the concept right though.
I think they also, but don't they have sweatshops? That's the only way to really say it.
Yeah, no, Dennis, you're right.
Korea,
Japanese
where they
actually
go in. They'll do something for you. So this is he could have at least had a concept put together quickly, overseas, and just had the animation done. Yep. So honestly, he put zero effort. It's typical Howard Stern. There was absolutely 0.0 effort on his end. Nothing.
Well, you could hear he did nothing when he's talking to Hecht in the clip. You could hear.
I think that I think that what happened there also was, as we recall, Chris Rock came out with his animated.
Yes,
show.
Well, no, that was a live action. That was
live action.
Chris Rock. Everybody hates Chris.
Everybody hates Chris.
Yeah. Yep. That's a
and
great
I think
point
that was like a much more well thought out,
in depth. Yeah, it's a good show.
Well, in depth, fully fleshed out type of show. Let me just finish this out.
Monique, you must love that show. You must love that show because it really portrays the early '80s. In New York City, Brooklyn. That's really kind of your stomping grounds.
I know, but I lived it. Who the fuck needs to watch it?
Oh, honestly. I don't know. Maybe see if
I promise you, whatever life Chris Rock was leading, mine was probably just as fucked up, if not better. And I don't care to, I don't care to relive those days. Like I never watched Friends. Like I just didn't understand all these white kids living in these huge apartments in the fucking city when I'm living above a funeral parlor.
You're
scared to change the fuse in the fucking basement.
And always having a place
Richard Grieco boyfriend.
Yeah.
Monique. Your Richard Grieco boyfriend's from the same high school Chris Rock went to.
You know what, John? I'm going to send you a picture of my Richard Grieco boyfriend, and you will see that you'll be like, holy shit, he looks exactly like. Well, he was more handsome because he didn't shave his eyebrows.
That's impossible.
TV, we're in all the listings, so the dream of having a first network for men is on. So women had 3 networks for themselves. Lifetime, We, Oxygen. It was women 3, men nothing. And now men have their own network. And lunch is at 9 o'clock, and we have a great party with Spike Special at the Playboy Mansion at 8 p.m. tonight. So.
And more importantly, you are announcing your official relationship with me.
And most importantly, we are announcing there's been a lot of rumors, right, Howard?
Because who represents men better than Howard Stern?
Exactly. When we decided to have a men's network, it was actually one of the first places we said we got to get a relationship with Howard if we can.
In fact, if you had named it Howard TV, I would have sued your ass.
We probably would have got even more publicity that way.
But Albie, answer the question that everyone wants, and I know Robin wanted me to ask you this. As president of Spike TV, can you get a lot of ass?
Oh, I don't want to hear this anymore. I'm done with Albie. I'm done with Albie.
Wow.
I do have other clips from you, just so you know, and then you'll just let me know when I need to play them. Howard hosting SNL, Bob Odenkirk.
Yeah.
SNL. Yeah, but it's too soon with Bob Odenkirk.
Too soon.
Howard on the Nanny and JLD watching Wiggy. Okay, so we'll come back to that.
Well, no, all it is him explaining SNL. Odenkirk's just a little bit of he's not really speaking much in it. It's just that I got that from the Odenkirk interview. Him explaining what happened at SNL.
Too soon. too soon. We won't be able to play it. I'm sorry to say that, but I
know what you mean by too soon.
It's a little too soon. All right, Bon Jovial decided, I guess, to walk his dog and go do a number 2, and is now back. So
who's doing the number 2?
I don't know. I just
good question, and you will never know.
You never know. I feel like it was the pup. Okay, so other TV projects from the early 2000s. Kane. So I don't know anything about this one at all.
John.
So,
Okay.
John's got this.
2001. Let me just read the thing, and then
the clip's set, John. It's ready to go.
So 2001-2002 syndication. This sitcom about an eccentric Southern family was written by Ron Zimmerman, Seventh Heaven VIP, and produced, but Stern never made it to air. Okay, so go. Tell me what we got here.
I was going to say, Fake Norm. By the way, I have a line on him. I looked him up. I think his connection to all those Stern people, he's like a baseball producer, like
he's
a
sports
film
guy.
Producer. Yeah. So I think those Howard TV guys were slumming it in the weird local sports, and he knows them from that, and he used their connections to get those weird guys. He has no business talking to those people.
I'll be honest with you. I will tell you that when one or two of them went on that are on my group chat on my phone, and I said, dudes, I can't believe you went on Fake Norm's show. And, of course, Richie Wilson being the most honest human being in the world, he's like, fuck that fucking guy. It's like, who the fuck is he? I have no interest in doing his show. And then somebody else is like, oh, yeah, but you know what? He's a really nice guy. He doesn't really, ask really like tough questions and blah, 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 blah.
I love my
and I was like, you know what? Fuck all of you. Like, seriously, go fuck yourselves. I've never once asked any of you to come on my fucking show. And there you are with like Fake Norm, doing some bullshit interviews with him that get like 10,000, 15,000 fucking views. He's always pushing his knowledge of where fucking Artie is, and it's all a lie.
He might pay them.
I'm so glad he finally came out with like a video. No, he doesn't pay anybody.
Then why do they go on?
Because you know what? You start to see the history of people that have gone on it, and then you think to yourself, oh, I guess he's a, milquetoast kind of nice St. Louis guy who's not going to ask me any really tough questions. I haven't watched a single one. I just love pontificating about it because I don't give a fuck about him. But you know what? If that's his gig, so be it. If he's making money on it, I'm okay with it. I don't care.
I believe he has some weird background with like Brian Phelan or something and some camera work shit. So, and he pilfered them for their Rolodex. That's very different. This Rolodex anymore.
I don't know if you were on the text. John, weren't you on the text with me and KC where he said this guy was like coming after him, really wanting him to do the show?
No. I don't think so.
He wrote to me and he said, and I was like, who? Half Zip from St. Louis? He's like, yeah.
You're Casey's agent now. You're Casey's agent now.
Totally. Please, Tiger Lily, where are you? I just want you to know that I was in the city for the last like 3 nights, and I texted KC. You would think it was like a drunken text, but it was like 7:00 at night. I was like, oh my God, KC, come into the city and hang out with me, please. He was like, fuck. And literally he texted me back at like 12:30 at night saying, fuck, I just got this. I'm so sorry. I'm so busy. Like there's no way I can come into the city. But I would have just liked to smell him. That's all I'm going to say. Jesus. All right. So we're going to talk, shut up. We're going to talk about, we're talking about Kane now, correct?
Yeah.
Kane, yeah.
Anymore, right? Did something happen with the writing of Kane, or what happened to kind of end that relationship?
Okay, hang on. I'm going to back it up and go ahead, John.
So Ron Zimmerman, who was in the Artie chair for a little bit. So he was one of the rotating Artie. He's a comedian. He's more of a writer, and he had a working business relationship with Howard. And so I just got you here where he goes into what it's like to work with Howard on something. I thought it was really like a very, you let him go for a while, and it looked like Zimmerman really is an axe to grind with Howard. He certainly does. Thank God.
Here we go.
You guys aren't real tight anymore, you and Howard, right? Did something happen with the writing of Kane, or what happened?
Sorry, I'm sorry. I almost wasn't paying attention. Can you tell me who this is on here now again?
Ron Zimmerman. He's a writer, comedian. He's with Fake Norm.
Oh, we're actually going to play Fake Norm?
Yeah.
After I just ripped him a new asshole and fucking zip?
Nice.
Wow. Okay, here we go. All right, Fake Norm. This is your moment in the sun on the Radio Gunk podcast. So fuck you anyway.
To kind of end that relationship.
Oh, no. Dad always has bothered me, but I should have never sold him that script. That was a stupid mistake. But at the time, it seemed like he could get it made. I didn't realize that he would go after Les Moonves with such a passion. And Les Moonves...
Sorry, still not paying attention. Who is this that Fake Norm's talking to?
Ron Zimmerman.
Oh my goodness.
Squinty McDonald interviewing.
I think I'm trying to read my notes on the other side here, and the name Ron
This is really
Zimmerman
good. This
really,
is classic John ferreting out clips here. The ferret.
Just started, yes.
John Ferret. Okay, here we go. Sorry.
Had been promoted to the head of pretty much everything that was CBS, which in Howard's station. And it was like, somehow I felt like Howard didn't even realize that or something, but yeah, he had this pilot, and then one day Howard he's not a producer. He just didn't know what to do, and then
this guy has all the excitement of literally like a broken light bulb. Like seriously.
Oh, wait, I've sped him up.
Jackie chair.
Wow.
I edited it out. His pauses. His pauses was as bad as Eric the Midget.
A wet mop has a lot more
He
excitement.
dated Cher, Monique.
See this straw I've been chewing on all night? This has more personality than this fucking Ron.
He gets to good bit now, though. This is a good bit.
This is a good bit.
He goes on the show, and it's like, Les Moonves, I gave you the best script you've ever seen in your life, and you're too much of a pussy to shoot it. And it was just awful. And Les Moonves, of course, cut it. My script was so dead that when Howard went after him on the radio, it just...
Bella, I am with you 1,000%. I haven't even heard a word he said.
Come on.
You're not paying attention, though. This is.
I'm really. You know me.
Work, John. I'm with you,
I burn
John.
bright and fade fast. I'm not really good with this shit.
That is
Oh, it's over. Thank God.
I've been having trouble sleeping. Can I just have a clip of that? Because that'll put me in a deep sleep.
See, even Beanie Mac. Who the hell is this?
now picture him in the Jackie chair for 4 hours.
No.
Oh, that couldn't have happened.
His motivation was he dated Cher, believe it or not, and I think it lasted a little bit.
So
that's why Howard.
I listened to the whole thing. That story was fascinating with Cher. That was actually really good.
So boning Cher makes you funny. I don't.
He was talking to her on Facebook, and he didn't even know it was her because she uses a different alias, and he was talking to her for weeks, and then realized that it was actually Cher, and they had a relationship. It was fascinating. She was laughing at him, saying, "Didn't you realize that? It was me?"
This isn't part of this, but he went on to say, another good thing is that he said he complimented Howard on his Bill Maher appearance, and Howard basically said, "Hey, yeah, whatever. I'm a work in progress." So Zimmerman followed it up with another comment. Howard blocked him 5 times on 5 different numbers after that. And all he did was compliment him. He just called them. That's what he does to these former people. They're all dead to him. He's completely, exorcised everybody out of his life that isn't A-list, or so he thinks, or what he perceives as A-list.
So can I go back to Ron Zimmerman just for a hot second? So who is he now?
Well, he writes on a bunch of stuff. He's written comic books. He's written television. I think he has movie scripts. He's been a stand-up comedian in that, classic generation of all guys now who are in their mid to late 60s. I think there's a story with him once where I think he tried to commit suicide, and Leno called him to come over for Christmas dinner or something, and it stopped him from killing himself.
Oh, thank God for Leno.
Yeah,
thank God for turkey.
We wouldn't have had that. Thanks, Jay.
Hey, come look at my cars.
Oh, come on over, Ron. Come on over, Ron.
Cars.
Okay.
Doomsday 2001.
Oh, thank you for moving us along.
where are we?
I don't have clips for these, so yeah, I'm just
so we're just
pushing
gonna
it.
read it.
Yeah.
So Doomsday.
But what he says there is very, the one thing he says, Howard is not a producer. He firmly states he doesn't. Peter Howard is not a producer. He has no business on the creative side of TV or movies. And you've heard him sling his bullshit for how long? That's what happened when you get involved with him. Then you're dealing with executives and nothing happens. He kind of, as rickety and boring as it was, he explained why you can't work with him.
Okay.
Okay.
I just want to give props to that one thing. That's what we do. That's what we're doing with the show. Why you can't, what happens to these shows, why it doesn't get made.
Doomsday 2000 to 2001 UPN. Stern produced this animated show for UPN that was supposed to debut in 2000, but was pushed back. The pilot involved two guys broadcasting a radio show from their basement in the wake of an apocalypse, with Stern voicing their dog. But the events of 9/11 made the network think twice about airing this disaster-themed show. How would it possibly be that Stern would take the role of a dog in a radio comedy of sorts?
I got it. The dog is the smart one of the three in the script.
Of course he is. Of course he is.
It wore a wig.
The dog is like Family Guy, probably, right? Who probably speaks with, like, more articulation than everybody else in the fucking family.
Exactly. So you implying that he needed Ralph and Tony Coburn to style the animation?
Exactly. Tony had to fix the dog's hair.
That's great. That's so funny. That's so funny.
I can see her. Like with me, with my Wacom pad, I can see her with her little. Let me see if I can see her with a little Wacom pad, just like putting in like little tendrils into the fucking show.
Tendrils.
We love the tendrils.
Curl manufactured.
Every curl. Every fucking curl. All right, let's move on. So I know we have clips set up, but not until we get to Robert Schimmel, correct? Okay, so Etiquette for Outlaws. Yeah. Etiquette for Outlaws, 2003 Showtime. Based on the best-selling book of the same name by Rob Cohen and David Wallach, this was a reality show project that wasn't picked up. Stern was producing the show. See, he's always like producer, which I don't really understand because, producer is a bullshit role. Yeah, totally bullshit role.
Think about what he did on Son of the Beach. He would fly in once a month. Yeah. Like, this chick's hot. And go back and then make all the money.
No. The thing is, unlike a lot of other producers, he doesn't put up any of his own money. I mean, that's the other thing. No, he never puts a cent of his own cash in. So basically, he ends up just getting money from other people and calling himself a producer. I mean,
that's usually what you did, right? That is,
but a lot of people
believe in something so strongly, and you're as rich as he is. You'd think you'd put a couple of bucks into something artistic you believe in, but it'll never happen.
No.
And nothing gets made.
The book was a humorous look at unspoken social rules for fast-living degenerate guys. I don't know enough about this. I have no idea.
I'm far into this too.
I've never really looked at anything about that book. To Masta, if you're still on here, can you Google that book, Etiquette for Outlaws, and let us know what the wording is on it, and then I'll read it on air for us, please, if you're there. Okay, next on the list is the Robert Schimmel Project, 2004 on WB. Howard Stern was set to produce this sitcom, created by and starring his frequent guest, the late great Robert Schimmel. The proposed show was based around Schimmel's experiences beating cancer. That's fun. And then falling in love with his daughter's friend. Equally exciting and Me Too-ish. The WB network, in its final days at the time, chose not to commit to the series. Yeah, I could see that being like a complete and utter fucking disaster. Seriously.
I mean, guy's never acted before either.
Yeah. And so Howard, go, babe.
Howard ran on and on about this. I mean, seriously,
talked forever.
Yeah, I mean, Christ, you would think it was like, a new version of like, like the Family Guy or
Everybody Loves Raymond. Yeah,
Everybody Loves Raymond. I mean, literally, it would have been the greatest TV show ever. The way he was talking it up, and it's like, It's Robert Schimmel. I mean,
But
literally.
poor Robert Schimmel in a way. Like, here's a guy, one of these like staunch stand-ups, who's been doing it for 35 years or whatever. He finally gets a break to be on TV, and he hitches his wagon to this piece of shit.
So the pilot for the Schimmel Show is on YouTube. I would have loved to have seen that. Bon, if that's something that you can, sorry, I'm looking at breast comments. Bon, if that's something that you can pull down, I would love to see that. But we're gonna play a little bit of video about
call
his
from Paramount. It was a Paramount TV network.
Here we go.
They heard Bob on our show, and it was the time he was on explaining that he tried to pick up his daughter's best friend, in the hospital while his wife was coming to visit him.
And he was under treatment, and he was trying to pick up.
And it was so hysterical. It was this whole crazy story. When he spoke about it, these executives were driving in their car listening to our show, and they were so moved by Bob's funny rendition of this. They said, boy, this guy would be a great, sitcom.
Good Fred.
So Bob was so excited, and he said, Howard, they want you to executive produce. They won't give me the show unless you're the executive producer of the show. They want to package it together. And at the time, I had a production company, but I had a clear vision on what his show should be. But then when you get into the world of network television, the opening to the sitcom was Bob laying in a hospital bed getting cancer treatments and him hitting on his daughter's friend while his wife's in the other room. Now,
that sounds
that's
exciting.
Dark as it gets. So we started with that premise. And what ended up happening was it becomes a process of everyone working together, but there's too many hands, too many cooks for me. The way I wanted to present Bob was a lot darker. And so I would be on these phone calls, a lot of work, what should have been a joyous process, but it became very difficult for me anyway to make the script. And I wanted it so badly for Bob. And
I'm sorry. He was producing the sitcom. He wasn't directing it.
Nope.
He
you
was
can call that anything. It's the most nebulous title in the world.
Right. And if we would have seen, you know what? He's such a fucking cunt. The way it would have worked is it would have said produced by Howard Stern. And then there would have been like 17 assistant producers who would have done like all the work. But he would have had to get top billing. And it would have been, a Howard Stern production. But meanwhile, everybody behind the scenes would have been the ones doing the work.
You can't even get him on the phone to pitch something, let alone him actually working on it. It's,
Fucking listen.
You're right, Chaka Khan. Look what Chaka wrote. That was back in the day when every stand-up with any talent got a deal. It was pre-Netflix when dark stuff easily sold. Yeah, I had just put up a clip of a Louis C.K. show that was on HBO where it was just fucking ridiculous. And I still quote it to this day. And the little girl, she's just doing like ballet in her room and she's like, are you ready for the show? And the parents like, oh, Jesus Christ, I can't believe we have to go watch this again. And she's like, are you ready for the show? And she's got a little ballerina skirt on and everything. And so she puts the music on and it's my neck, my back, lick my pussy and my crack. And it was just so fucking funny at the time. It just was, but it was so outrageous and just so almost, it could never be made today, like we say about so much shit. But you're exactly right, Chaka. They were allowed to do that kind of fuck you on the edge because they were, again, goes back to that 80s, 90s thing. They're all on the edge. They're all fucked up. They all have massive issues and we wanted to see it on TV, I guess.
You could do it on UPN and WB or CW at the time too.
At
That's
the time.
You go with that crowd. Yeah, at the time.
Exactly. Is there more to this, guys?
Maybe a little bit.
So Bob wanted it so badly because Bob was an incredible stand-up comic.
All right. Well, okay. That's that for that.
Basically, Howard wants all the money and he wants to take credit for anything that's good in it.
The thing is, he's there talking like he's the head writer too. It's literally, going all over the place. And then like, oh, I wanted it to be dark. It's Schimmel's show.
It's always.
I was trying to portray him darker. Oh, that sounds like a real winner there, Howard. Yeah. It's amazing the bullshit he spins in circles. It truly.
Well, it's
like,
always
the
about
extras are
he's
so-
more creative than the people making the show, and his vision would have exploded, and they don't get it, and and it's just an excuse to not do it because they didn't offer him enough money.
Exactly.
Melvin, I absolutely agree with you. He says, okay, I'm sorry. I went to Chaka. Sorry. Melvin. Okay, but every blue-haired lesbian gets stage time now with a 10-minute bit about their gash, or it's milquetoast Taylor Tomlinson comics that are like watching paint dry. Yeah, I agree. I mean, comedy has changed for the worse. The cream of the crop have gotten tremendous deals from Netflix, and they're all shit products. You know, the product output is shit. And especially coming out of COVID, where nobody has any life experiences except for the fact that they're living with their wife, kids, blah, 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 and who got COVID and blah, blah, blah. And you know what? It's not fucking funny. And, you know, they've paid these guys a shit ton of money.
There's no quality control at all. It's just,
who's that little guy? Who's the little guy? Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart did Kevin Hart. He is. He's like a Lilliputian. Kevin Hart did a comedy show out of his living room, which easily fit like 75 fucking people, right? So, Mr., you know, I made a big blah, 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 fits 75 people during COVID into his living room to do a comedy set where all he talked about was how he had COVID, then his wife had COVID, then the fucking kid. And I was like, click, 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 click. And they paid him millions of dollars for these shows.
Him crashing that CUDA would have been a much more interesting story. Actually, his friend crashing the CUDA with him in the baby seat. So
exactly. Exactly. Yes, I agree. Dave Chappelle is the best because David speaks truth to power, and you know what? Only Dave Chappelle, borderline Chris Rock, but Chris Hart. What's his name? The little guy.
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart is one of the most successful comedians out there.
You know why? He's also the most overexposed.
You know why?
You can't go.
No, why?
What?
Because you keep on running down the black comedians. If they can't do it, Kevin Hart does.
Kevin
Literally,
Hart can.
he's like the third or fourth choice, and they just throw him in a movie.
He's awful.
Oh yeah, but he's how many? You go down the list of black comedians. Oh, he's not doing it anymore. He's not doing it anymore. Hey, Kevin Hart's available. Okay.
Yeah.
Kevin Hart is 5'3". There was plenty of space in his living room. If they say online that Kevin Hart is 5'3", that means he's 5'2.5" at best. And you know it.
Him as cop. Didn't he play a cop once?
I have no idea. I have never followed.
He's in like 10 buddy cop movies a year, Dennis. Take your pick. He's doing 5 movies with The Rock and Will Ferrell every fucking year.
They must have put him on an apple
Get
crate.
Hard or something.
Oh, you're right, Dennis. They cast everyone around. It's like the Tom Cruise factor. They cast everyone around him as like 4'8" high, so Tom looks like he's 7 foot tall.
Exactly, and then Tom has on like those Benji shoes, which are like 7-inch fucking loafers. All right, so we're gonna move on.
It's like a scene out of Hellraiser. Anyway,
exactly. Okay, so
Tiger
next
Lily
role.
loves Kevin Hart. That's because he's from.
Oh no, she doesn't. Oh right, well
Yeah.
because
She
you know
does.
they
That's
see
the
eye
only
to eye.
Oh, Jesus.
oh nice. Here we
She's a
go.
spinner. She's not
Okay.
a spinner. She's-
She is. Tiger Lily's a spinner.
Okay.
Don't you know
Good.
this? Okay.
We like to see.
So our next role is
Rock
Man of
Me
the Year.
Baby. Rock
Man
Me
of the
Baby.
Year.
That's what we're going to. John, do you want to take
Let's-
I
this?
thought we were going to Man of the Year.
Yeah, if you read that,
It
we're
doesn't
going to
matter.
Man of the Year after this.
Oh. Well.
Okay. Well, Rock Me
This is
Baby
amazing.
is this is bizarre. I don't even know what to start. Everybody knows Dan Cortez from MTV, and he tried to get into acting, and so they tried to do something with this guy in the early 2000s, late 90s, and they basically built a sitcom around private parts. And Howard claims that they came to him, and Howard doesn't own, Rice Entertainment folded, and they could do it. So they took Dan Cortez and they had him play basically Howard, and they took private parts and they changed a few things. In fact, his wife is named Beth instead of Allison in
It's
the
amazing.
show. And so Howard is livid, and again, Howard he can't sue them because he doesn't own the rights to anything. He can't figure out a way. And so UPN went on and made a full season of this thing. It was called Rock Me Baby, with basically Dan Cortez playing Howard.
This is uncanny. It's like Howard's story. These clips are just jaw-dropping. The
Channel
thievery.
Private Parts when you watch
Dan Cortez show where he's a shock jock who is
Look
married.
at that face on Howard.
And has kids, and he can't figure out how to keep his shock jock life from interfering with his private life.
Is that started?
Yeah.
That was I was reading one of the tabloids this week, and they were saying the shows that won't last, that was top of the list.
You know what we ought to do? We ought to do a Deadpool. Everybody, instead of picking actors who are going to die, pick TV shows.
That are going to die.
That's right. Marty, what's up?
Howard, I was watching that show last night on UPN 9. I don't know the name of it. Based on Private Parts?
Yeah, it's Private Parts, a TV show, but done badly. Rock Me Baby.
Rock Me Baby, yeah.
Oh, it's unwatchable.
I wouldn't watch it because I'll just get upset that someone basically said, hey, Private Parts was a good movie. Why don't we just make it into a TV show? But then they ruin it.
Well, the acting, I mean, it looks like high school acting. I mean, Cortez can't.
I'm sorry, did he not sue them for this?
No.
He didn't, because he doesn't own. He doesn't own it.
Wait till you see it. We're going to see clips of it. It's fucking
I'm so
thievery.
I'm so excited.
Act his way out of a paper bag. It's just so bad.
You know, Dan Cortez is supposed to come in the first week of October. Do you think he'll make it here before the show gets canceled?
Absolutely not. The show, I guarantee it'll be canceled in 3 weeks.
Before he gets here.
He never
I can just
came
tell
on.
it's not going
They
to work.
canceled him.
It's dumb. Everyone's sitting there going, it's Howard Stern's story.
Right.
But badly done. And we did it already.
Our station manager, Joe Boyle, popped in during the break, so I decided to look up
See
the
Pig
word
Vomit?
boil in the dictionary.
Is that Robin in the
It
back?
says here that a boil is, and I quote, a pus-filled inflammation. You on with Jimmy and Carl?
Did your wife put on a lot of weight with the baby?
Ooh. Well, I wouldn't call it a lot. I mean, she's kept on a couple, but I think it looks good on her. Her breasts are now stripper quality. I know you're mad about what I said on the show, but I wasn't being serious. I was being controversial. That's my job.
I mean, my whole world is upside down, Jimmy. I used to be an art director at the biggest agency in town. Now I'm just a pudgy, sleep-deprived hormonal mommy.
Hey, you're not pudgy.
You know what it means when a morning DJ yawns on the air?
Yeah, he's tired.
No, he's dead.
No, give me a break, Boyle. I was up late with the baby last night.
I knew it. I told you there's no room for kids in morning radio. They make you lose your edge.
Wow.
That's why I never had kids.
Really, I thought it was because no one would do you.
A kid's gonna make you go soft, and when you go soft, your ratings go down, and when your ratings go down, you are gone. Have a good show.
Wow.
So he's playing Pig Vomit. That's Paul Giamatti.
Oh, yeah.
And his sidekick is you remember Cockroach from The Cosby Show?
No.
No.
He's playing
Happily
the male
no.
Robin. So so they try to get around that it's Robin, so they made Robin a male, and it's fucking Cockroach from The Cosby Show. And it's fun. Allison's name is Beth. And it's I just love that it pisses Howard off, and he doesn't own enough.
Yeah.
He doesn't own it to sue him. He can't sue him. He wants
The
to
only
sue
thing
I'm
is-
sorry. Can you give me a little thought on why there's no room for him to sue? I mean, I'm sure he tried, but what was the?
Because they changed
He
stuff
doesn't
around.
own
They
it.
never use. He doesn't own it.
No, Reicher owns the movie.
The
And
movie,
while they
not
went
the
away.
book, Monique.
They bought the
Yeah,
rights to the movie, but then
Right.
how does one then take what was a movie and make it into a TV show?
Because they changed. They did it enough where even nobody has the right to sue them. So they changed stuff around. There's no similar names, and they did it just enough to look like Private Parts where you can't sue them. But
Exactly.
Howard can't. Howard really wants to sue them, and that's why he never came out with everyone's like, why don't you have extras on your DVD? Every other goddamn movie on the face of the earth has extras on their DVD and Blu-rays. You don't have a director's commentary. What is this? How do you not have that? He would never admit that's why. He doesn't actually own it. So he made
Oh, did we
all these
lose?
bullshit excuses,
Oh,
and
no.
he wants to sue them the worst way. He would. Cortez was booked on the show, and they canceled him. The show went 20 episodes. It went a full season, and they never had him on. It's just out of bitterness.
Amazing.
Wow.
All right, we're gonna move on. Just so you guys all know, I'm trying to get these shows into like a 2 hour. I'm sure this is gonna go 2.5. Shut up. But yeah, we're trying to do that. But we're getting through. We're getting through. Okay, so Man of the Year 2006.
And by the way, just to circle back a little bit, when they did Howard Stern high school years, he can't lie about his years because the black years have nothing to do with high school. It's Rockville Center. So he'd have to make that black. And how would that go? You can't lie about the high school, the Sharptons of the world and the NAACP be all over them. You can't, those years don't exist. He didn't go to Roosevelt High School. He went to Rockville Center High School, which is 99% white.
Right. Robert Blanco says, yeah, they own the film rights to the book that includes television. So yeah, of course.
They're not doing it with Polish kids too, Master. Sorry.
Yeah.
The Pole action.
Okay, Man of the Year. The role, Tom Dobbs. Who got it? Robin Williams. Howard Stern was offered 2 movie roles in 2005 that he had to turn down because he was busy transitioning his show from terrestrial to satellite radio. The first was the lead in director Barry Levinson's Man of the Year, a comedy about a late-night talk show host who runs for president and wins. Stern would have been a nice fit for the movie since it kind of mirrors his real-life gubernatorial bullshit run in 1994. Yeah, I don't think that movie actually did well. I can't imagine for the life of me having a movie by Barry Levinson, who's a very, very successful director, would be something that he wouldn't at very least talk about.
Oh,
right?
He mentions that in this clip, but there's something wrong with this because there's no... When you see, if you've seen the movie, I'd never heard of it, but I did watch it last week for this. This is a quality movie. If you've seen his other movie, it's called Wag the Dog with Robert De Niro. That's that's such a good political satire. This movie's the same. If you don't like that kind of movie, you wouldn't like it. But there's no chance in hell that an actor like Howard, who isn't an actor, this movie was probably made with somebody like Robin in mind. You couldn't, when you see this clip, like we're going to hear Howard talking about it, but when you see it, you could never have an actor who isn't like a powerhouse actor acting,
or who isn't an actor. Period.
Right.
You know, I think a lot of this is just like blowing hot air up his ass.
Yeah,
of course.
yeah.
It always is.
I mean, how many
He can
times
say whatever he wants.
Right.
You know?
How many times you hear people like, I don't know, Kate Winslet say, you know, I was offered the part in this. You can be offered the part, but that doesn't mean that either the writer or the director agrees with you being part of it, because they cast such a wide fucking net for all of these movies, all of them.
Exactly.
So being offered the role doesn't ever constitute actually being the person who would get the role. All right, so let's look at a little bit of it.
One that recently came and went, I was offered.
I mean, if I did anything lesbianish, it
I guess
would
it's
be
okay to say.
What's going on
Is that
there?
Sarah Silverman?
I don't know.
That was Sarah
Fun?
Silverman. I don't know what.
Did you pause
I'm
that?
looking at it. I do not know what happened there.
for Jimmy's
The Robin
sake. I
Williams
wouldn't like
residency.
Oh yeah,
to.
it's good.
No, it's like double talk. It's like talking over each other.
Can you go a little? I know it's on.
No, it's got. Hold on, just wait a
Right?
second.
It has like some weird double talk.
Yeah, it does.
I'll just
You
try
want me
that
to send you
again.
the clean clip, Monique, or no?
No, I won't have. I won't be able to do it. You know, I can't walk and chew gum at the same time when it comes to 2 hours into our show. Yes, I should be a goddamn agent. You're exactly right. I would
You would
work
be a great agent.
like an amazing deal for everybody.
But you
Devon,
need a
did you
hat.
put it back up?
Yeah, but I think there's a problem with this one, so we might just have to talk about it.
All right, let's look at it and let's hear a little bit of it and let's see if we can just fast forward.
Wow.
Just a
It was all
smidge.
going so well.
I know
Monique,
you were
I
doing
said-
so, and I'm literally only like 3 left.
I
in
know.
our-
Just try this and
Nice.
I'll stop it if it does it again, because I think
Okay,
it's
what,
going to.
Johnny?
I resent you the clip, Monique, if you want to. From your
Where did you put it in the private
end.
chat?
In your Gmail box.
Wow. Okay, private chat.
Says Man
That's
of
what
the
it's
Year.
for. So you can just
Send it
actually
Gmail
send
box.
it to me, and I can click on it. That's
for
what
Jimmy,
we
you
would
would
do
never
there.
be with
All right,
no
let's see
one
what
that
it was.
recently.
Yeah, that's not going to work. I'm pulling
It's
that.
not going to work. All right, so no, I just wanted to see a little bit of a video from it, just so we can see what the movie was. Silly
you can
Billy.
absolutely do that. I'm putting it back in. We're good. Okay. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay.
Ta-da.
Just let's just
okay.
take a look.
It's back. It's back.
Okay, we're just gonna take a little look see at it, guys. Our audio on it kind of sucks, so let's just
And for Jimmy,
I'm
you
gonna
would
actually
just kill the audio. There
kill
we
the
go.
audio exactly. So we're just gonna look through. So Robin Williams was Man of the Year. It was a starring role. There's no way Howard would have been able to carry this. And let's also just PS that Robin Williams is fucking genius.
Picture the Pelican Brief, though, Monique. We saw him do this in the Pelican Brief.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Skulking around in front of a live audience like this.
Frankenwig walk.
He could have never. It would have never worked. This just would have never worked. So, Bon Jovial, if you actually watch this movie, which shocks me to no end, can you tell me what's going on in this?
Yeah, he's a comedian, and you saw that newspaper there. Someone in the audience says, "You're really into politics. You would be the great president," and he goes ahead and runs for it and
Does he win?
wins. And there's lots of other stuff at the end, but you see this acting. It's power quality actor here. You know, Howard couldn't be on this.
No. Yep, this might be the worst one yet.
You need a guy who looks sort of presidential. You can't have Howard with the hair and trying to wear jeans or something and be cool.
Who do you think offered this role to him?
I mean, could you?
I don't think this happened. I think he's making it up.
It could be just complete bullshit. Like he was some bit, maybe the walk and roll, maybe or that, or maybe it was something else.
No, not the walk and roll. Come on.
Just whatever the minor role is. He decided I'm going to turn myself into the lead.
Yes, they're saying that it was the lead in Man of the Year, a comedy about
There's no way that any vision this could work.
There's no way.
This guy's got to pad out his article, so he's added shit that's just never happened. Like that Halloween one. There's no way Howard. That movie probably had a $500,000 budget for that crap movie, and there's no way they could afford to pay anybody something like Howard would have wanted.
Cutie Mac, no president could have hair like Howard.
He probably just Googled DJ in movie and looked up all these movies that have a DJ in scenes. You know,
you would think it would be something like Robin Williams does a lot of stuff with radio. Good Morning Vietnam. Remember he did a movie called The Night Whisperer, where he was like an overnight guy. And it was
I love that.
It would be that. You think it would be that, but it's this. It doesn't. It's almost like
it's a late night host.
Howard does that a lot. He conflates stuff to make him look good. I wonder if that's really what it was.
Robin Williams, soulful, emotional actor who radiates life, says Chaka Khan. Howard Stern, bitter, self-conscious dick. So true. So fucking true. All right, so we're going to move on a little bit. And Bon, you can move that out if you would like to. So let's go to School for Scoundrels, 2006. The role of Dr. P. Who got it?
Wow.
Billy Bob Thornton. Howard Stern's commitment.
That's the Silverman clip, Bon. That was
that's
Silverman was speaking, and that's what that was linked to.
Yeah, I've put them to. I know, so I'll play that one again. But if we can just get the video off the screen and hear the audio was. But look, the point about that audio is that it's just Sarah talking about. She was in the movie with Billy Bob. Yeah. And she's just talking about how he was great to work with. Howard doesn't mention this, so this is made up.
He's in the back of his mind. He got beat out.
Howard Stern's commitment to his new satellite show also forced him to turn down a role in Todd Phillips' remake of the 1960s British comedy School for Scoundrels. When Stern couldn't play the instructor of a class that teaches dweeby guys to be more confident, Phillips went with Billy Bob Thornton instead. So I don't know about that movie either. I've never seen it. So
that role again is so powerhouse that Billy he's playing like a leader, like Tom Cruise was in Magnolia, where he's like a guru for people who are weak. He's playing a powerhouse role, and he's really good actor. And there's no way, again, he doesn't look right. Howard standing there trying to be cool wouldn't be. You've got to be a really good actor in that movie,
Yes, of course. As Michael Hans says, how does Grandpa Saul Black, #1 geeky pelican, get off talking acting whatsoever after never again acting after Private Parts? It's so true. It's like, I can understand if he had a couple of roles other than the one role he had with what's his face who died, Gary Shandling.
Gary Shandling, where he couldn't play
Give
himself.
me anything else that he did. What else did he do?
Nothing.
Well, that's funny you say Gary Shandling, Monique. Let me just put a pin in that for a minute. Do you guys remember in the Marvel Cinematic Universe in the Iron Man 2 film that he went on to play in Captain America: Winter Soldier? Gary Shandling played Senator Stern. So Jon Favreau crafted a role with that, and he realized Howard can't act his way out of a Sebastian Wetlook bag, and he gave it to Gary Shandling. But instead, the homage, he let it remain as Senator Stern. So that's so funny you bring that up. I think Favreau thought for a minute, maybe I'll give it to Howard, and no.
And thought better of it.
Yeah, thank God.
And I bet you Howard's really fucking difficult to negotiate with and deal with, so it's it's kind of like a weird thing. I'm sure he's known for being a difficult fucking guy to deal with.
He's a prima donna's prima donna.
And so is his agent.
Didn't get him on the phone.
And so is his agent. That's exactly right.
Yep.
It's so funny when you think about people like Bill Murray, where he has a phone number and he has no agent. So you call Bill Murray's phone number and you hope that he will return your call. And that's the way he works. If he decides that there's something that he wants to do, he'll call you back. And then he'll work on the deals with you and the details. And if your phone call to him is enough of an incentive to him, he'll call you back and he'll do the fucking role. This douchebag, has this old man who I will still contend is absolutely the father figure that he never had, because he feels like he's like a powerful quality guy who knows how to negotiate and has skills beyond anything that his poor partially dead father or whatever.
Everything successful. Absolutely. He is behind everything successful he's done. All the deals he didn't deserve. That's all Buchwald. He gets people, whether it's he is a huckster's huckster. He gets John Hine book deals about plain hamburgers, writing fast food, Lisa G books, and you couldn't possibly have a worse array of no talents getting them book deals, God knows what else, TV deals.
Agreed.
John Hine alone.
All right, so I'm going to move on to the next one, which is Transformers. 2007. Stern was offered the chance to voice the character Frenzy, a radio, of course, in the big screen adaptation of Transformers, but he passed when his agent talked him out of it. Why? Why would you talk somebody who is becoming so incredibly irrelevant? Somebody who nobody under the age of 30 knows who the fuck they are.
And he had just gone to Sirius, Monique, so you'd think you want to promote that entity to
a younger, newer
Yes.
audience for him.
Yes.
And you know what? As much as Howard's voice, has changed tremendously over the course of years, he's a perfect, he has a voice for radio. So any of these silly radio type of shows would have been absolute perfection for him. I think that's a blown chance that he didn't do Transformers. And I think that made a shit ton of money as well. Massive franchise.
But we've got to get some clarification. The way they wanted to use him was only for about 10 seconds.
Who cares?
Because
so what?
the
You know what? That's a perfect role for him. That's perfect for him. And you know what? It's almost...
Oh, well, he explains why in this clip.
Are we going to hear it?
Why?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Transformers, part of the way he transforms is part of his equipment is a radio.
Uh-huh.
And they contacted me like a week ago, and my agent, and said they wanted my voice on the radio. I said no. I thought it might be kind of cool, but my agent said, you don't want to be a fucking movie as a, some first, second voice on the radio. And I go, you know what, you're right. He gets me crazy. Like, I don't even know what's good for me. Thank God I have an agent. I need an agent all day in my life. And then, he'll just go, you don't want to be a fucking, he knows right away what to say.
At least he has definite opinion.
Yeah, he goes, don't want to be on some, for 2 seconds, you're on, I go, right. Well, it might be the big movie. He goes, so? It's not going to be because of you, because you fucking voiced it. And I almost felt for it. I went, I said to him, this movie, Transformers, could be a really big movie. He goes, so what? Cares? We want to be a little voice. I go, you know what? Fuck them. Now I'm angry at them for asking me. And the letter sucks me in. It goes, we feel you represent America's icon of radio. And when that radio turns on, just for a couple of seconds to hear your voice, the crowd will go insane. And I'm like, yeah. And I go, you know what? Then when my agent gets a hold of me, it's almost like he shakes me up and smacks me. And he goes,
wrong with you?
He goes, yeah, you're going to be some voice of big.
Huge fucking mistake to not do this.
Wow.
Seriously.
You know, Buckwall, he's more out of touch than Hall & Oates. And he's pulling the trigger on a fucking trend. You're so right. I mean, it is insane that, I mean, like and again, promoting Sirius is so important at that point to bring in people who didn't come along in 2006 when this came out. Massive franchise and no work at all.
And right. And you know what? People would have appreciated it. Certainly people that, would laugh in the audience 1,000%. Somebody would turn to them and say, whose voice is that? And be like, oh, it's Howard Stern's. A huge mistake. And you know what? It would have taken 15 minutes of his day after the show was over to be in one of the largest fucking franchises of that year. What a fucking dick move. What a dick move. There's more to this clip. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt it, but I'm just shocked.
That's all right. No, it was a good place to stop.
Fucking deal.
You're like AJ. All right, enough.
Yeah, I'm not. You know what? Like a man. At heart, I'm really just a dumb disc jockey. Like, I don't even know how to elevate my career.
Oh, geez.
You don't have to. You'd still be a fucking disc jockey.
Life, dude. It ain't gonna make or break you.
So let me. I was thinking about this, and I was like, maybe I could make this scene happen. And I thought, 2007. He was a different guy back then, and my imagination was running wild. I was thinking, imagine if Transformers was made last year or 2 years ago. You can imagine a producer saying, "Oh, Howard's agreed to have his voice," and the other producers saying, "Hey, can you go and get a clip then from his show tomorrow?" And just whack it in, and then go fine. And then getting a call later from the other producer.
It's wig formers.
Yeah, I'm having trouble finding. I'm not sure. Just grab a clip, you bloody idiot, and get in here tomorrow with it. And then the going fine and rocking in tomorrow and going, I'm not sure. This seems to be what he's interested in now, so I dropped it in. Have a listen.
I want to learn something today. So blowing a guy is not like riding a bike. You got to really work at it. You got to practice.
And then this scene might be...
You jerked each other off where you would rub each other's bodies and do everything but blow each other. Or, of course, no anal. That's even hotter, isn't it? You're like, oh, if I could only put my mouth on his penis.
Wow.
What do you think? It's kind of where his interests lie.
Okay, that was perfection. I feel like we need to actually see that again. That was absolute fucking perfection. Sorry. I'm moving
back. Cue it up again. Do you want me to...
off where you would rub each other's bodies and
hold on.
Got to practice.
Okay.
You jerked each other off where you would rub each other's bodies and do everything but blow each other. Or, of course, no anal. That's even hotter, isn't it? You're like, oh, if I could only put my mouth on his penis.
Wow.
Imagine the producer playing that back and going, I haven't listened for about 20 years, but I didn't think he was talking about that kind of stuff these days.
Is this true, Gamma Man 69?
What's that?
Beetle refused a voice part in Transformers
really?
as well.
I don't know about that.
I don't.
Do we know? Is this true?
It sounds like
Tiger Lily's
gossip,
giving you some love, Marion from Melbourne. Just so you know.
Well, she was in that Olympics thread being rude, so I didn't put hers in because I have a soft spot for her.
I'm sorry, Bon. I don't mean to put up comments on the show whilst your magic is happening. Sorry.
Oh, it's over now. The magic happens, and it happened quickly. But we've got a problem because John and I were working on a bit for that, and I can't play it right now.
Why?
You can play me doing
because
it though.
It's
just a good. I said it to you just now, Monique. I don't
it'll
know
get copyright. You would get demonetized if I played it.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
You want to hear the raw version of it, though, Monique? I sent you the clip just now, so I just sent what I sent him. We were gonna use.
Well, I'll explain the scene, yeah, and if Monique would like to play that, I guess it's not going to do it justice, and maybe I'll put it up on my YouTube page, and I'll make a forum thread. I'll put it in the show thread later. because I edited the scene was that robot Frenzy, and I thought maybe we could say maybe Howard did the whole voice for the movie of that character, and there's just a classic scene where this robot is chasing Shia LaBeouf, and it just so happens he pulls his pants down. And I thought maybe we should cut a clip together because that's right down Howard's alleyway. And I said to John, could you improvise some lines for this robot to say as he's pulling Shia LaBeouf's pants down?
That's Howard.
And John came through with the goods.
It's just like a broad Howard impression of
so I'm going to say, Bon Jovial, if you would like to put that onto your channel or put it on our website just for a hot minute, I'm all for it.
I'll add it to the show.
To be able to
thread.
grab something off of an email or something right now is absolutely virtually impossible. All right, I am going to move on to American Idol in 2010.
American Idol, yes.
Yes.
The shit
Role of judge. Who got that role? Steven Tyler. When Simon Cowell announced he was leaving American Idol in 2010, the show's producers began chasing Howard Stern to take his place. Stern entered into talks to join the program and considered leaving his radio show to do so. Stern commented on the talks of his radio show, saying, "There's not a better job on the planet than judging that karaoke contest. And if I do say so myself, I can't imagine anyone but me replacing Simon Cowell. He would have been a fit replacement for Simon Cowell, filling the role of the outspoken offensive guy," which he was not on AGT.
Nope, not even close.
But he wasn't able to close the deal, and the producers went with the much safer choice of Steven Tyler instead. Stern signed on to judge another reality competition show, America's Got Talent, this past year, and his episodes on the show will begin airing this summer. It would have never worked for him. You know, that exact person that they wanted on AGT is probably what they wanted also on American Idol, and he did not deliver that. He just didn't. So there's that.
When you're getting outshocked by Mel B and Howie Mandel, and this is the guy you brought in and I guess they had planned he's going to change his brand before America, and he's going to be, empathetic and nice, and he was just straight up boring and so crazy high maintenance. And this is a lesson for anyone that works with him: you got to bring the show to New York, change everything around,
high maintenance, super high maintenance.
And I think Xavier said he knew people that worked on the show, and what a total pain in the ass he was just behind the scenes. You couldn't go near his over analyzing this dumb shit.
And he was the only one that had an earpiece because he was the only one who couldn't think for himself. The four people up there, he couldn't think for himself. Heidi Klum didn't need one.
Okay, so I'm going to move on to our final one from this conversation.
Yes.
Yeah, which is... Yeah. Okay. So here we go. Remaking Rock and Roll High School and Porky's, unproduced, in development, 2002, ongoing. Producer Howard Stern bought the movie rights to remake two beloved late 70s, early 80s teen films, Rock and Roll High School and Porky's, under a Howard Stern Presents label, but neither project has made much progress since first being announced. The Porky's remake has hit some legal snags, with another entity claiming to have bought the rights before Stern. But Stern was working on it last year. And again, don't forget, this is 2012. Working on it last year, and it looks like it might still be happening. It's been a decade since the project was announced, and no cast, and now it's 2 decades actually, and no cast or director have been announced. So it looks like it could fall apart at any moment. Little news has surfaced about Rock and Roll High School remake since it was announced to be in Stern's hands in 2008, and it doesn't seem to be a project that he's actively pursuing.
How could you do Porky's now? Unless you rewrote the whole thing, everyone's going to get butthurt. Would you turn into something like American Pie or something?
Exactly. It's like that 80s, 90s comedy that was very situational and physical and juvenile,
misogynistic. It's
and
sexist.
misogynistic. Of course,
it's almost a sexual assault. It's not going to work now.
Well, you know what? Like a lot of them weren't like that. Last American Virgin, Better Off Dead. I mean, there were some real beauties out there. 16 Candles, all the John Hughes movies, I think, are still valid to this day.
You can't compare that to Porky's, so that's a completely.
I'm not. I'm just
movie.
saying.
Skinamax. It's almost like
Porky's was like Animal House. It was like
exactly
Animal House High School. It's
Animal House, right? Juvenile, meant for boys 14 to 18. Let's be honest.
3 nude scenes to jerk that a 14-year-old can jerk off to in the movie. And you know
I just
exactly
got to write
where
this.
and
Have
how
I got a
to take
pen
breath.
here?
Shannon
What's
Tweed, you know.
Right, and what's the one with Phoebe Cates that everybody loves?
Oh, yes,
Private
Perfect or something. Perfect.
No,
is it?
it's
no, Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Fast Times at Ridgemont
Oh,
High.
that's
See,
right.
that to me is the perfect. That's the perfect bridge movie between a Porky's and a 16 Candles. You know,
Oh, that movie's incredible. Though. That's
you
on
had your
a
love
different
story.
level,
Notice
yeah.
the trend.
What?
You notice the trend here with the Peter Pan sexual. It's just over and over. High school, high school, high school, high school,
that's
high
his
school.
greatest time.
Everything is just teens and high school.
Because that's when he soared. He was a fucking loser his entire life.
He wanted to go back to high school
the
now
seminal
as
moments
the
of
famous
his
guy
life.
and
But
bang
even
all
his
the chicks.
TV taste, Monique, exactly, Bon.
You know half the people that you know on fucking Facebook, all they can talk about is like their days in high school, you know, and then they all gained like 200 fucking pounds and are miserable with their lives and look at these guys that they dated in fucking high school like they're gods. You know, it's just
Look at his look now. I mean, literally, he is trying to be the cool kid in high school. I mean, it's seriously. If you look at the way the skater boy look, all the
it is
dress shit. I mean, you know, he's never progressed past 12th grade.
No,
it's so amazing though. Like that he's a grandfather and he literally thinks he should be like the cool kid on campus.
A friend of mine
has no focus. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry,
a friend of mine went to a high school reunion like last year, and it was almost like what Howard dreams of. Like my friend always wanted to fuck this girl, and she was there, and she just got divorced a couple of years ago. And my friend wasn't that good looking then, but he looks much better looking when he got older. He just became got rid of chubby. He lost all the chubbiness, and now he looks like really good looking. And he was there, and he's got a girlfriend now, so he couldn't do anything. But this girl that he always wanted to fuck was hitting on him, going, "Oh, I'll suck your cock and all this stuff." And he called me and he said, "You're not going to believe this." And he said, "Oh, I wish." And this is exactly what Howard wants to. He wants to be able to go back to a high school reunion now and have them all on him. And my friend was saying, "God," I said, "Isn't that amazing? You could have like gone back in time to high school and banged her tonight." And he said, "I know, I wish I could have, but I can't because I'm with someone." But that's what Howard's dream is, to get
or not going and have them talk about him that he's too cool to go to it. That's I mean, it's such a cliche.
Send a crew to film them talking about him. Yeah,
it's just everything wrong with society. High school reunion, Schadenfreude. It's just That's why, like Monique, you went to the school in the city. You guys don't really have that. It seems like city schools don't really care about who they graduated with and getting revenge on this. It seems like it's too. You look past that.
Yeah, I didn't have the classic high school experience. You know, I would definitely call myself.
You were hanging out with Andy Warhol at 4 a.m. in the morning, so you didn't have time for that shit.
But in high school, I was like a 14-year-old, and so I was 14. I was dating a senior, which was like a big fucking deal because it was one of those things.
It's bizarre. To have anybody date out of their grade was weird. And if you go into
wasn't it?
It's even strange. It was
and
really
now
strange.
You realize, when you get older, you realize how weird that is. It's like you think,
yes,
someone who's 2 years younger than me, would I ever care about that? And when you're that age, you were like, oh, they're morons or whatever, you know?
Oh my God, it was like the craziest thing. And I remember I went
you got educated by an older man.
I went to his prom with him. But then I was still dating him, and he was away at college, and he played D1 baseball, got a scholarship at D1 baseball, and he asked me to not go to my prom. And remember, I was 15 going on 16, so I was young, and I said, okay, I'm not going to my prom. And so I never really had like the big ass high school experience. And I know I've told this story before, but the dean of the school was also the basketball coach, and I used to work for him like 7th and 8th period pretty much every day. And I made a cottage industry out of getting people out of class to say that the dean wanted them, even though he was probably coaching basketball or something, and they would pay me $5 to get them out of school, out of class, and then they would cut out. Oh my God, I had such a racket. Every semester, he'd be like, "What grade would you like this year, Monique?"
Oh my God! You should have worked for UNLV, Monique. You could have been Jerry Tarkanian's assistant.
Yeah,
that's phenomenal.
You almost sound like you had the relationship Beth had. I mean,
that's right.
See, this is why I understand the principal relationship, because this is a guy I would never want to be with, nor would he want to be with me. But he adored me, and I adored him, and we just had that kind of. He was just
you
a
see
good guy.
some of yourself in Beth. That's what you're saying.
Exactly.
No, not really. No, not really. Not at all.
The irony of Monique having a division. Go ahead, Dan.
Did he
a D1 baseball player boyfriend?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, the irony of him a Division I baseball player who didn't get to third base.
So I don't know that that's true. So I broke up with him. I broke up with him when he was like in his third year of college, I guess it was, and I was already in FIT, living a large life and whatever. And do you know what he did to me? So one day we were hanging out in front of the pizzeria, and
pizzeria. There's always a pizzeria.
And so we're hanging out in front of Tony's, and he drove by with his friends, and he threw a McDonald's milkshake at me, and called me a bitch. And told me how much he fucking hated me.
Why?
And he literally
Tell me why,
because
though.
he
What
was
did you
angry.
do?
I broke up with him, and so he got upset with me and threw a shake at me and
92-mile-per-hour high fastball.
ruined my DoorDash jeans to no fucking end. It was horrible.
You know what? Sounds completely deserved. So.
Oh, bullshit. That is not true at all. I was a great fucking girlfriend. There is not a single boy on Facebook that I dated who hasn't told me that I was like their favorite girl.
You're too old for
you
Anthony
didn't take
Cumia.
pictures, yeah.
I'm too old for Andy Cumia's for sure. All right, so we had queued up.
Monique, you see what Fudgesicle said?
No,
Monique,
what?
the high school years.
Oh my God, that would be so much fucking fun.
That's
Seriously.
a good show. Because you did live a weird life. That's actually
I led
a
a
good
weird
show.
life.
I'm not even kidding.
I did. I led a really, really crazy ass fucking life. And then you know what? And then it was all over. It's like, when you burn bright and fade fast, it's just like you don't even care about this shit anymore. I just met up with a girlfriend of mine from LA the other day, and we were just hanging out for like hours, just bullshitting about our early years after we got out of college, because we went to college together. And we were just talking about our lives now and how I was like, I hated fucking going out. Like, I hated it. I detested being out to 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I can't tell you how many times I would call my mom at like 3 a.m. and say, Mommy, can you come pick me up? I mean, this is what I used to do.
Wasn't she with you though? There partying as well?
No, not always. I mean, just like
did you have a Jade and Drew Barrymore
No.
relationship?
That only happened. That only happened like 3 or 4 times. The Studio 54 time that we all know about.
Yeah.
And like a couple of times when she felt like going out with us, but she was, she basically hung out with all the mobsters.
This is what this is. Tell more.
And so then she would come pick me up. Didn't matter what time it was. 1, 2, 3, 4 in the morning. It was like, Mommy, please come pick me up.
City too, which is not easy.
Well, but don't forget, back in the day, fucking cabs never took you to Brooklyn. If you said that you lived in Brooklyn, they just keep driving. They wouldn't even let you in their cab.
You were out that late at 15. That's pretty late.
16.
At night.
16 is when I really started going out and staying out like all night. Yes. Okay. 16 for sure. Right. But nobody proved. Nobody ID'd. And then when I turned 18, they changed the legal drinking age to 19. When I turned 19, they changed it to 21.
Oh no, it's 18
it never mattered,
in Australia. So
but it never mattered. I mean,
it makes it harder. It does. You got to be organized.
Yeah, and okay. So my last stupid story, which you all know, is when that John Gotti Jr. guy was at the Underground with us, and he wasn't with us. He was with his friends, which were a bunch of fucking
John Gotti
sweatsuit wearing
Bit of Sal there.
And it was my classic fucking story where he came up to me and said, "Hey, can I buy you a drink?" And I knew who he was because all my friends were like, "Oh, look, that's John Gotti Jr." And he was older than us too. Like I was only like 16 at the time, maybe even 15, 16. And he said, "Can I buy you a drink?" And I'm like this, literally. I'm like, "I already have one." And he took my glass and he slammed it out of my hand. It went crashing onto the floor. And he's
Kinda
like, "You
cool
don't
move,
now.
actually. Yeah.
You don't now. Can I buy you a drink?" And it was like, yeah, he was a fucking douchebag.
As
But
John
yeah,
would say, it's kind of pithy move there, but
it's a pithy
cool.
move. It's a very fucking pithy move. All right, we're gonna move on because it's 2:32. Damn it! I knew we were gonna get to.
We did
3 hours.
not. Yeah, we did
I
not
hate
make it.
talking about myself. All right, so what are we looking
you
at
love
now?
it.
Fun.
Porkies. How we're talking about Porkies.
Occasion too, I was working on. I'm producing Howard Stern Presents Porkies.
Yeah. Howard Stern presents Porkies.
We got 2 scripts that were developed simultaneously, kind of.
Listen to this.
One's a rewrite of a script that we did. And,
He just makes this up, I think.
A bunch of the guys. I
Out of the air.
didn't do it, but I was, sort of in on. And it's coming along pretty funny.
And then what's the other script?
Well, no, it's Porky's, but we're going to combo them now because there's funny jokes in both. You got to figure out which is better for the movie, and but I obsess on shit too because you want it to be good. I stopped doing all that movie stuff. All I work on is Sirius Satellite Radio and Howard TV.
Well, you
but
just said you're working on the movie thing.
Well, the Porky's thing I
had already.
Yeah, I had that already in the hopper. It seemed like a fun project, which it is.
What do you mean in the hopper?
Define
hopper.
Oh, wonderful.
Ready to go. They could even start shooting October, but I don't know if that's true.
Wow.
I can't imagine that. The script's got to be finished.
You found a director that you
No. Nobody's up to that. But, that's being worked on. You need a couple of good teenagers. Up-and-comers who are real good.
Oh, sure.
Isn't that crazy?
What year was this?
He goes into this kind of he goes into a Johnny Depp laconic leaning back on the couch. It's in development. We're throwing it around. John, do you want to give us a few bars of what he does? Hit it. You know what I mean.
I was talking to Tim about doing Ed Wood too, and it got sort of shelved. It's kind of in development right now with my
development
company.
hell.
Yeah. Well, I got offered the role of Titanic, and I labored through about 15. He really did. He actually really got offered that. That was.
Did he? Titanic?
Oh my
God. Depp got offered Titanic apparently before. He actually revealed that on Howard. It made huge news.
That would not.
Howard goes. See, Howard's obsessed with turning movies down. So this actually ties into this. So he's just drilling Depp. He's like Johnny, you got to give me something. What did you turn down? What's like a really huge movie to turn down? And Depp's trying to be classy, and finally he just gives in. And he just goes, you know what? I'll tell you what. I labored through about 30 pages of Titanic, and I'm sweating, and I couldn't get through it. It was horrible. I just knew it would be awful. And so Howard was really happy that cool factor, that was too cool for Titanic, and it went to DiCaprio.
Oh, please.
Thought you were going to say I just knew it was going to sink,
He didn't say that, but
yeah.
I just knew.
So,
I just knew it would
talk
be
to us a
awful.
little bit about Rock and Roll High School, because
Go, Johnny.
that's going to be on
Well,
our
there's a clip. There's a clip.
We got
we
it.
have it.
It's cute.
Oh, yeah, good. It's the Ramones thing, and again, it's high school, and it's as easy. Everything is so uncreative too. It's this is derivative, stupid, and it would take him like 2 weeks to write the whole season. It doesn't sound like there's a lot of you're just remaking something and you're tweaking things, and he can't do that. As the Ramones thing, and somehow that connection that gave him.
But for a while, I had a production company. My whole thing was.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Done. Go. Done.
Ready? Okay.
It was like I was producing a bunch of movies and TV shows.
Yeah.
I optioned Rock and Roll High School.
Oh, you did?
Joey Ramone just died.
For those of you who don't know, it was a musical comedy from 1979 that featured the Ramones. I was going to do a remake.
Yeah.
The song was they wrote the theme song. I loved it.
Sorry, you're so right, Katie Aldana. Howard wasn't even into the Ramones. He's such a fucking poser.
Katie's always right.
Katie is always right.
We learn on that. She's always right.
Yes, Katie's always right.
Such a poser.
I think it would have been a good movie, but I lost interest, like everything else. I just kind of said, you know what? I got a radio show. What am I doing producing stupid-ass TV shows? And I had like 9 deals in production.
9?
I was going to be like Dick Clark or something.
Right.
How do you get 9?
And then every minute, I'm sitting at home getting calls. We want to do a rewrite on the script for Rock and Roll High School. I'm like, what? I mean, my head's spinning. We had just done 4 hours on the radio. The FCC is after me. I'm getting dragged into the general manager's office every day. They're bleeping the shit out of this show. I got to get the next show ready for the next day. Like I'm a mogul sitting at my desk all day, and the guys go, well, yeah, we're thinking of a rewrite. Want to have a meeting about Rock and Roll High School? I go, fuck you. Meeting about Rock and Roll High School? Didn't I hire you guys to write it? Yeah, but we need you.
You know, I love the way he can't have it both ways. He can't say that he's so involved in the writing, the producing, the directing, et cetera, and then come on air and bitch about the fact that he has to actually do any work related to that project. You know
but he
what I
wants
mean?
all the money. At the same time, he wants all the money and he wants all the creative props. So anything that worked, he wants credit.
This also goes against that incredible lie of the work ethic. Because if he actually had anything resembling a fucking work ethic, he would have had a successful another project besides just this lame radio show he has. I mean, seriously.
But Dennis, you're totally right. But think about it too. How easy do you get it? It's a remake of a stupid movie that nobody watched in the first place. How hard could this be?
Yeah.
And who's the fucking audience for this? Who would even greenlight? What a terrible pitch! It's horrible. Remaking Porky's, remaking this.
To redo a Ramones movie that was a picture of time in 1979.
Back again in his mind, that's where he's living. Yeah,
I know, but
yes,
what audience in their right minds is running out to see that?
He doesn't care. He just wants to get it made.
He doesn't care.
He just wants to get it made.
But he has to get paid.
He just wants that big fucking that big screen produced by Howard Stern thing. That's all. That's all that matters here. All right, let me finish playing the clip real quick.
Your input, it doesn't happen without you, and blah, blah, blah. I go, this production company is a disaster. I thought when celebrities got production companies, you just put your name on shit and they send you money.
That's right.
Wow.
You like rubber stamp things and everybody else does the work.
No, it doesn't work that way. You actually have to work. Because I had always heard, like in Hollywood, when you see Brad Pitt, executive producer, they just want to get his name on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
and
you
that's
too,
what I was
douchebag.
hoping for. I didn't realize.
Exactly.
I woke up one day and go, wait a second. We're going to put out a movie called Rock and Roll High School. My name's going to be on it as executive producer. And I'm going to take a chance that it sucks. I better get busy. So I'm in these meetings. I'm giving notes, and it's like, what am I doing with my life? Dick Clark didn't have a 4-hour radio show where he was being hounded by the religious right.
If he didn't have people coming to that office, there was nothing for him to do.
And believe me, if he had a 4-hour radio show, other people would have been writing down what he had to say, and he just would have fucking read it off a piece of paper.
Yeah, what about when you have a 3-hour show? I'm reading a lot of comments here, and I'm loving all of them, so I'm going to get out of this really quickly. Okay, let's see. There's a bunch of stuff about Meg Griffin. Is anyone curious about what a producer does? Try reading the book, The Kid Stays in the Picture by the... Oh, my God, such a great book. I'm agreeing with you totally. Dorian, I love this as well. Should totally remake The Warriors with modern gangs, that type of shit. Escape from New York, except now, as Johnny knows, that's absolutely one of my absolute favorite fucking movies ever. David the Violinist says, I think Howard wants to do a show about high school because it was a time in his life when he was able to get away with any gay sexual situations without the fame and focus. It's his Rosebud. I love it.
Yeah, nice.
Love that. Love that. Let's see, Super Trooper. Super Trooper says there's a show where Meg Griffin walks into the studio and Sam Kinison says it stinks in here. It's Howard just likes to announce stuff but no actual work. Miss you, Bella Stern, by the way, if you are my blind Bella friend from many, many years gone by. Let's see. Howard Stern listening to Meg Griffin when he was a kid, even though he's 20 years older.
Right.
Meg was us.
Right.
Yes, you're so right.
Yeah.
Let's see. He couldn't just deal with an intelligent woman who knew more about music than he ever would. That's absolutely fucking true. Anybody seen Waiting for the Barbarians with Johnny Depp? It's just arms and pressure for 2 hours.
Do you need it, Mikhail? I have it on. I do. I have it on the hard drive if you want it.
Okay, Bon, I want to cue up your last clip. I need you to remove the other one, please, and then I can cue that one up for us. So
this is a good summing up of it all.
Hopefully you guys are liking the format that we're trying to do this time around. We're doing kind of like a curious mix of things that I have on a cloud drive tied in with a lot of like fabulous stuff that Bon Jovial did mixed with amazing clips that John has. So it's like a really good mix of stuff. And this is kind of the way we're going to hopefully run the shows for going forward. Okay, so what is this clip that we're going to be ending our show off with, sir?
John, it's just Howard talking about his Howard Stern production. So it does sort of sum it all up.
Okay.
It probably should have, yeah. So it's just his idiocy again of this whole process.
Oh, Bella, I'm so glad that's you. Love you. All right, here we go. Hang on.
FX, Son of the Beach. We had 3 seasons. Everyone's like, you know what? Just do this show. Just put this show on, and the other shows you'll make money. I go, what other shows?
For free. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And I was like, when do you actually make money at this? And I realized, my kids were young, and I'm sitting in my office all day writing and on phone calls. You got to be a single guy for this kind of career. If you're doing a radio show and production company, all of these things are great, except you don't have a free minute.
Yeah.
We were getting up at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, what kind of life am I having? See, that's why I was always jealous of Oprah. Oprah just stamps her names on shit. She didn't write that magazine.
Wow.
She got people to write that magazine. Of course, it's out of business now, but even with the radio
did her
channel.
magazine go out of business?
So jealous. So fucking jealous. Didn't Oprah win an Oscar?
Yep.
Queen of
no
all
idea what
fucking
her
media
schedule is.
in the truest sense of the fucking word.
He just made up a complete lie there about
she's
being
way
out
more
of business.
artistically accomplished than he is. And
my
that's been
God.
the plan from the day he signed that Sirius deal. Do as little radio, provide as little original content as possible, and make as much money and take as much vacation time. It has been the plan from the day he signed that fucking contract. Lest anybody believe it was the ultimate bait and switch, hollow bag of goods he tried to sell you. Buyer's
When she had a radio
cubed.
channel here at Sirius XM, they gave her $50 million. She never showed up. That's what I was hoping to do with the production
even
company.
Walk through the building once?
I think when she first signed the deal to get the $50 million. Then the channel became Oprah and Friends, and it was her friends.
But no Oprah.
No Oprah. And then she gets like a Weight Watchers, and she does a couple commercials, and then she didn't even bother losing weight. That's what I was hoping with the production company. I'd be Oprah. I maintain my girth and still get to be a Weight Watchers spokesperson.
At least he's honest.
But no.
Only Oprah can do that.
I'm sitting at my desk. My agent's calling me. Did you get on the call about Rock and Roll High School? We had 2 cartoons in production.
Right.
One was a space cartoon.
What's that about?
One, Howard Stern, the high school years on the.
What the fuck is a space cartoon?
Doomsday.
Doomsday.
Did I read that one?
Doomsday.
Yep.
We glossed over it. It's funny. I
didn't realize that was animated. I'm sorry.
I called Howard, and when he did the Flutie Brothers, I'm going to do the contest, the Flutie Brothers versus the Losers, and I made a crack about Doomsday. I compared the judges. I go, those judges are about as stable as your Doomsday cartoon. And that was when he stopped talking about everything he had. It's a good call. It was a quick, kind of angry call. And so that when we do the, you remember we want to do the contest shows, they're winning Fred's money and the losers and stuff. That's a good clip for that.
All right, let me finish this clip because we are done with this show, guys.
We are?
Soon. Yes.
I sold all of them. I was good in meetings. Like I'd walk in and sell shit. People would go like, yeah, that sounds great. There was one time I walked into a meeting. I really didn't have anything to sell, and I made something up in the guy's office, and he bought it. I was on a roll. I had 9 things sold in Hollywood.
Wow.
9.
And then I called my agent. I said, I'm out. He goes, what do you mean? We got 9 things. I said, I'm out. I can't do it. I'm going to kill myself. Crazy. Oprah does it right. Oprah gets a TV network. Where is she? Sitting there, in her house, relaxing.
She's interviewing Meghan Markle with a
See how recent this is?
Right.
Meghan Markle.
You do one of those a year, and that's the work.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Fuck me. That production company, Howard Stern Production. I was like, no more. It's gone. Doesn't exist.
Wow.
Then someone said, well, you can hire executives to do all this shit. Then, I was like, well, who's the executive that's going to run this thing? Take over. And then if I go out and see Rock and Roll High School's a piece of shit, what am I going to do? It's my name on it. So I'm too much of a control freak to have a production company. I'm not willing to delegate.
So why do it?
Right.
Why?
You haven't found that person that you trust with
Shut
your
the
vision.
fuck up,
Robin,
Robin.
you bitch.
Shut
Yeah.
the fuck up.
She is a shill, man.
Oh, she's disgusting.
What a
I hate
cunt.
her.
I mean, seriously.
Agree with the
literally has
garbage that
no
comes out of his mouth.
Oh, she's disgusting.
She has absolutely no idea what the fuck she's talking about, and it's just like, but she has to make sure she cuts everyone else down.
Oh,
try
yeah.
to boost the Pelican.
Oh,
up.
but you never did anything wrong. Oh, no.
So we're going to end with a little Melvin. Mo, Dennis, Johnny Cake, Super Bonbon. Super Bonbon.
Ooh, goodness. That's better than Marianne from Melbourne.
Any updates on your predictions of Stern coming back, Stern staff firings, etc.? Any thoughts, guys?
I think you will find people. The thing with the house sales with Jason and Gary and stuff. I think you're going to see names start popping up when Gary Puppet goes into the weeds and finds. You're going to see Mike Trainer move to Denver or something, and they're not going to. And the staff will be cut down to whatever 32 is unessential, least essential employees during and just to pay him. That's what's going to happen. He's never going to leave the basement. There's no reason for him to go to that studio. He's there. There's no way.
Well, what I'm hearing from a lot of people not in this industry or any other industry that we care about, is that a lot of companies for going forward. So yeah, you make $500,000 in the city and you decide that you're going to move to, Missouri, where the cost of living is so much cheaper. They are going to then take your salary down. They are taking people's salaries down. And it's basically like, if you can't be in the city where we are paying you a salary for living in the tri-state area, which is extremely expensive, as most people know, and you decide to move somewhere, where you can actually buy a $500,000 house and live like a fucking king, we are going to be adjusting your salaries. So unless you're here 3 days a week, starting in September, your salary is being cut. And that is what they are absolutely all doing. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens with a lot of these guys who are moving out of state. I mean, unless Howard has locked in some deal for them that says, you know what, fuck it, I'm not going in, so they don't have to go in. I just don't know.
I don't think he cares about the other people. You're on your own kind of thing. But we act like there's some. Does it matter if the show is live? Does it matter if he's in the studio? Does any of that matter? It's awful
not really.
way you slice it. Why do people care if he's there or not? At least in the basement, there's some kind of intrigue where you might be able to find something with Beth coming in and something might slip. There's some chance of that. But him being in the studio is meaningless. The show has sucked for 10, 12 years. Who cares if he's there?
But they just want to know. People like us want to know just because he won't tell us. That's the only reason I want to know.
Well, this is his dream scenario. This is his dream scenario.
Yes. So nobody loves COVID more than him.
No,
but I mean, that main question.
I mean, you knew it the day that was announced. You knew he's going to totally capitalize on the agoraphobia. It's where agoraphobia is embraced.
The introversion, everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, the hypochondria, agoraphobia, friggin' freak that he is. The thing is with the show, Ronnie is going to be the perfect example, and this is the way the show is going to go. Ronnie is going to pre-record everything. Because he is on Pacific time. There is no way Ronnie is getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
He won't be on much, I don't think, anymore.
No, he will. He will be on. He will have pre-recorded bits.
Maybe once a week. That's what
well, it's only 3 shows a week. I mean, it's
yeah.
But Dennis, think about this. What the fuck else does he have to do? He was waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning to drive in from Queens to pick this fucking douchebag up to drive him 10 minutes away.
Probably.
But he doesn't need to be live. Here's the thing: he doesn't need to be live. He really
of course, he doesn't need to be live, but that doesn't mean he won't wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I firmly believe he'll do that.
But getting back to that person's question, I think it's just set in stone. Sorry, Dennis. Go. Sorry.
But no,
I'm sorry.
And the show, so when the show comes back, you're gonna have a lot of the people that are. You're gonna have a lot more pre-recorded stuff. I think that he's gonna cut the show down even more. He will not go over 3 hours. I'm pretty sure that's gonna get even shorter. And that we're going to find out that he's going to probably have cut back most of the extra staff. So a lot of that extra fat's going to be cut down. It will be probably down about 30 people max.
If I were producing that show, I'd be like, you have no business doing comedy anymore, having bits, having your monologues. You're not transparent. You won't talk about your personal life. You're using Ronnie's personal life and JD's as a shield of smoke for your own. Just do 2 interviews a show, and that's it. Don't do comedy. Don't do monologues. Just interview 2 people, and that's it. That's the only way to get out of there without looking like he can't. I know.
He can't do 2 interviews. He can't get 2 guests in a week. I mean, not anymore. He really can't, and it's been a struggle for him to have any guests at all. And could you imagine
how pathetic is that, Dennis?
It is.
There's shows on TV though, like they have like 3 guests a night. This motherfucker in a 4-hour show can't interview 2 people.
3-hour show.
It's whatever the hell the running time is.
Yeah.
But remember that we think of an interview as being a celebrity. What we get now, of course, is the whack pack of Arse Napkin Ed for 30 minutes.
Right.
Fucking makes you. That's an interview now in his brain.
That's an interview. Right.
That's fucked.
Yeah. It's amazing how it's devolved into this piecemeal kind of time filler with just various people associated with the show. And there's no continuity. There's really no thing about his life. It's actually all he is just the person in the middle playing the different bits. And it's really not about him anymore. I mean, it really isn't. And that's kind of the saddest part about it.
What is this show Melvin is talking about here?
What?
Call Her Daddy just got $60 million from Spotify for a 1 hour plus a week.
Serious?
What the fuck is that? What is that show? I don't even know anything about that.
Daddy.
I don't know. I don't even listen to Spotify. And you know what? Fuck
no
you
idea.
if you think I'm going to pay for that content.
While you look that
bullshit.
up, I'll go with Dennis there. I think that format you just said, that's set in stone now till the end. And I don't think anyone else will leave. I think everyone's just going to stay like frozen there now. And
well, like I said, I think most of them are freelance, and I think that there'll only be key employees that are still salaried and have health insurance. And I think everybody else will be
done.
On a freelance basis. As they're used is as they'll be paid. Why the fuck do you need all those people?
No,
it's horrible.
Don't. He didn't need those people before this all happened. This is the amazing part about it.
All right, let's read what Call Her Daddy is, guys. Call Her Daddy started as a podcast and evolved into a global movement. What the fuck? Alex Cooper bulldozed a lane of her own, spitting in the face of misogyny and putting a modern twist on feminism. The woman, I really, really hope you cut and paste this from somewhere. The woman-led empire produces raw, relevant, and provocative conversations that promote sexual liberty and personal empowerment while stripping away any barriers of judgment. Strap in and enjoy. And more importantly, welcome to the Daddy Gang. Episodes on Wednesdays only on Spotify starting July 21st. No, I think he copied and pasted that from somewhere.
It'd be funny if he actually wrote it that way, though.
This is seriously, I would sooner gouge my eyeballs out with the fucking Bachelorette than listen to something like that. I don't even know what the fuck that is.
I can't even.
Horrible.
I couldn't fathom how fucking unentertaining that is.
$40 million.
$60 million.
Fuck you, your vagina, fuck everything about you. Fucking
the premise
cares.
is longer than Joe Rogan interviewing Tim Dillon.
Nice, Johnny.
All right, so Bon, I know. Okay, so
we need a song.
I do love that you put the radio on.
Gary Puppet's been screaming in the chat. He wants me to prank Beth.
I did.
He wants me to prank Beth.
No, that's not going to happen again. No, absolutely not.
No,
I absolutely.
What are you going to sing though, John?
Well,
Can we get some?
Beth. It'll be Amanda Pete's sister.
No,
Can we
Bon,
get some people in the chat for a song for John to sing?
I do not want any crank phone calls to Beth Stern. I do not. Sorry. I had to delete that.
I tried.
Here we go. Melvin wants John to sing Bill Withers, Ain't No Sunshine, Jerry Rafferty.
We've done Baker Street, just so you know.
Oh, yeah.
Johnny, what are you going to do, man?
Soul Coffin Super Bonbon.
I love that song. Step up and let the man go through. Let the man go through. That's a fucking cool song.
All right, so let's. What do we want Johnny to sing for us? I don't care if any of you don't. Your eardrums hurt when John sings. We love this. Okay.
Oh, Gene Canada is so fucking.
And guess what? We don't get paid $40 million. If we did, he'd sing even fucking more. So there's that. So yeah, you do you, Johnny boy. And you sing whatever the fuck you want to.
Johnny, do you know Foreigner?
On this beautiful Friday night.
I saw the other night was how about little Jack Wagner?
Never heard of him.
Wagner?
Who is this person you speak of?
He was a soap opera star.
Somebody, I think Tiger Lily, someone brought up Melrose Place. Dan Cortez was on Melrose Place, and he played Jake's brother from Seattle. He's the worst act. Dan Cortez's acting is like, it makes Grieco look like Gary Oldman. It's so bad.
Nice.
It's deliciously. So this is Jack Wagner's big one-hit wonder hit, All I Need.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, wow.
Kissing you is not what I had planned, and not sure just where I stand. I wasn't looking for true love, and always looking for me. If this isn't love we're making, then I don't know what it is. All I need is just a little more time to be sure what I feel is all in my mind, 'cause it feels so hard to believe that you're all I need. No stars are out tonight, but we're finding our own light, and it never felt so right. 'Cause girl, the way I'm feeling, it's easy to believe that you're all I need.
Jesus. I feel like I went through my soul.
Range of emotions.
You know that song.
I laughed, I cried, I took myself right out of the fucking chat because I didn't want you to see me laugh.
I loved every fucking moment. And
range of emotions. Just range.
Just to let our audience know, I'm going to make sure you can see John in Transformers. I'm going to make sure. I'll get that onto the forum.
Play that.
I can't. I'm not. I'm doing
it.
I am such Tinder hooks right now with this station that I don't want to do anything to
the visual sells it anyway. You've got to
exactly.
See it.
So let Bon do it
and sort it out.
And if you can sort it out and we can play it on the next show, I am all for it. Okay?
Oh no, we can't play it on the show, but it'll be on the website.
Howard and Uncle Vanya.
You later. How big is your boyfriend?
Yeah, right, I got that laugh in it too.
I'm going to be doing a live from the dock probably on Sunday late afternoon.
I love the dock format. Monique drinks 2 bottles of alcohol, then goes out to the dock, films it, then goes back in and drinks another 2.
No, that's not true. It's a Sunday night.
I know.
Okay, no, maybe sometimes.
I kid.
Is it possible, Monique, we will see Artie unloading orange juice containers on the dock today? Wow. As a teamster?
It's pretty much not possible. It is possible that he'd be putting gas in my boat over at the gas station on the water, but I think that's pretty much enough. All right, so yeah. All right, yes. You know what, Gary Puppet? I will wear a bikini for the next Doccast. Just because.
Oh, he's going to lose his mind. Oh,
my
goodness. Throw out his keyboard. It's terrible.
Yeah, all right. Well, we'll see. I'm tan enough now that I can do that. All right, so that is it for us for tonight. Bon Jovial, I think we need an outro of some sort at some point. Yeah.
We will. We'll discuss. Yes,
yeah, we'll discuss. We have to do an outro. I'd like something that you don't know that Bon Jovial is actually a very, very brilliant songstress of sorts. And so he is a guy who can, thank you, Bella Stern. Thank you so much. You know, Bella Stern is Blind Bella. Do you remember her?
Yes.
From,
she had a couple different names.
The forum?
Yeah.
She's always been Blind Bella.
Yep.
Spending a marble before
she loves my
you
seafood
go.
bisque.
Yeah, I'm working on a new channel trailer a big like a 2-minute, which I'm making all the music for with drums and everything. So it's going to be epic.
Wow. All right,
and,
awesome.
It's ridiculous and
yeah, I know Super Trooper Songstress is a
we'll
girl. I just couldn't think quick enough. Sorry. All right, guys, we're gonna go. Thank you so much. Here we are, 3 hours. I swore 2, but nonetheless. This
tried.
was a good show. Yeah, I know. We tried. All right. Stop singing. Stop talking. Everything stop. Okay. So everybody have an awesome weekend. And because I keep forgetting it's Friday. So have an awesome weekend. I'll try and do live from the dock on Sunday, providing it's not raining. And shut up. And Jackie Chair, at some point, I would like you to change out of that floral robe because,
What do
you're
you want
much
me,
more
a white
handsome
robe
in
or a
person.
pink robe?
I don't know why you put that on there. It's
because it's funny, and I'm just funny. Sorry.
He's
got a huge cock. Sorry.
Okay, that's way too much. Okay, too much. TMI. TMI. All right. Good night, guys. We love you all.
night.
Thank you, everybody who contributed tonight. We really do appreciate that, and I mean that with all my heart. So thank you for playing with us tonight. Hopefully, I'll see you guys on Sunday, and we'll talk to you next week. So.